Swimming and flea treatment together. How much? 60 quid. No lies. What the hell? 60 quid. Bloody hell. Yes, 60 quid. And that's just what have we got in here? I haven't even looked. He's got his Papalucha. They spelled his name right. That's. Why did they put down a female? Babalucha's male. Back of the neck. So that's back of his neck. Yeah, back of his neck. And the worming together, £60. Crazy. Sorry, got delivery, 1 sec. That's the delivery. It's not here yet. What the hell? 60 quid, can you believe it, that guys? Unbelievable. Hey guys, what's been happening? Anything? Did you say dog? Did I say dog? I mean cat. No, they put female on there. Publisher's male, I think. Oh, that's my traffic. They told me he was a he. I don't believe it. Why have I got cat food? I didn't get cat food. Anyway, I've got to go check this, guys. I mean, we always need cat food, so to be honest. Toilet roll. Toilet rolls are here. I'm just going to give my mum her water. Food. So all done, guys. My mum's had, I gave her like a little roast chicken, potatoes and vegetables. Her bottles of water. Oh my god, this is like costing money, man. What the hell? I swear to god. I'm gonna have to put it in a home. Let's sit down. I'm only kidding. Oh my god, what the fuck? It's been hundreds, man. Hundreds of quid. Oh, it's crazy. Oh my god, wait a minute. Just try and sank. I hear you want me for being in alive this morning. Jade, no. Why do I want you for? You know I've got to get my... Oh, for fuck's sake. Seriously. Give me a sec. Oh. Right. Jade said it again. Why? What's Jade done? Get in the box if you want. I don't know what I'm talking about though, to be honest. Well done. All sorted. I'm in the box.
Hello.
Hi, are you alright?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't want you.
I hear that you want me this morning because I was on my Dorothy account and someone's live.
Oh, yeah, what Torians?
And let me explain, Angie, why I was in there for.
I don't care where you go, to be honest. I'm just saying, I was just wondering if you support it, that's all.
No, right, let me explain why I was in that live.
You don't have to explain. You don't have to explain anyway. Go where you want. We're just.
No, but I'd rather explain so you understand, because the shit servers that are going around, it's ridiculous.
Because I don't give two shits, to be honest.
I wasn't in that live regarding the situation that happened. I haven't said that she's right or she's wrong. I haven't got involved in it. It's nothing to do with me. I went in her live this morning to discuss about SEND kids and kids that need extra help at school and stuff. That's why I was in there. Nothing else was said or anything like that. That's all it was about.
I don't give two shits. All I know is that I know that I would get a lot of people, my supporters would get a lot of shit if I had said it, that's all.
At the end of the day, I don't... Whatever's happened. Do you know what I mean? I'm not... I don't... Do you know what I mean? I just don't want to be...
I asked this question at 12 o'clock. I'm honestly wanting your opinion, guys, and I'll put up a poll. So if somebody supports someone that has done wrong, does that make them just as bad? I mean, in some situation you could say yes, but let's talk about the situation with Jade. I'm going to use you, Jade, if you don't mind, because I really want to know what other people think, because when I say something, you know, I get my supporters get crucified. Do you get what I'm saying? But then that's from a certain group of people that just don't like me.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not in no group. That's the thing. What was that? Was Torin Holden alive on SEND Kids? She was on about her own child that's got needs. Which she's well entitled to do, not other children. I went in because my son's got needs.
Did you see my video, Linz? I'm going to play it in a minute.
But I'm not in no circle, I'm not in no clique, I'm not in no... Do you know what I mean? I just went in there because of what they were talking about.
Yeah. Well, can I ask you guys a question? Because I don't know, right? And I really want to know, right, if what other people think, right? Because would you support someone? Would you go into someone's box? Is it the same as supporting someone, like being friends with someone that said something shitty? Like, say if I said what Torian said, right, and you got Linz, for example, still supporting me, right? And even though it's not come out of her gob, is it like, you know, no, you cannot go on that person's box because it's only a box and app at the end of the day. I know that if someone said it, a friend of mine that I speak to and see off TikTok that was supporting someone that did what they did, I probably would not be friends with them because I'd be like, whoa, they must support that. But is it the same as, you know, be that friendship going in someone's goddamn box? Do you know what I mean? Can we do a poll?
I've not got a friendship with her. I was just in there because of what the topic
I know, Jade, but this is what I'm asking other people. Is going in someone's box the same as... It's not really the same as being someone's friend off TikTok, right? And someone had done that and that person was supporting that person, right? So my question is, would you think they're supporting that person that said something bad if they go in their box? So happy face, yes, it means they do support that person just by going into their box on an app, or sad face, no, you can go where you want even if they've said something bad.
And as for someone saying Jade's in everyone's box lately, I can go in anybody's box. I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm not slagging no one off. I'm not being nasty to anyone. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just intrigued as to what other people think. I mean, it's very tight. Look, it's very, yes, 63, 66. Because remember, guys, it is an app. It's just a box. But then saying that, you probably wouldn't find yourself in someone's box that's a peddler, would you?
Well, I should hope they weren't on the app.
No, because we all came to Torian and we were just a little bit surprised to see her in the box. But I did
I didn't go in that live intentionally to go in the box, but when she was talking about what she was, and I could relate to her a lot because I go through it myself on a day-to-day basis, and it can be a lonely world when you go through it on your own, and that's the reason why I went in. I didn't go into do anything about anything. I don't even go live myself on this app.
Well, listen, I'm not. Listen, I don't really care whether you do or you don't, but other people might. So that's why I've put the poll up. But a lot of people were saying just going into someone's box is supporting that person. I mean, that's what other people are saying.
I was just jumping up to say, Ange, that every single time that I go into a live, it's like, oh, Rishi, she's an enabler of Angie, she goes in their box and that. So, yeah, you do get tied with that brush.
This is what I mean, yeah.
So why is it double standards for anyone else? I'm not saying, Jade, you are, but what I'm like, people will associate you as, oh, you are on Torian's side for a select subject. But what she said about a child...
It's nothing to do with me. And I'm not going to be sat here and be accused of. It's nothing to do with me. I didn't say it. I didn't do it. I'm not guilty of it.
Well, we know that, Jade, but my question is to other people.
So I'm guilty because I went in to try and be there for another mum that was suffering with their child that's got additional needs, right?
Yes.
I'm being targeted for that. If that's the case, then so be it. But I'm not going to be a mum that sits here and not reach out to another mum.
Yeah, Jade, I understand that, right? And I don't give two shits whose box you're in, to be honest, right? But when we saw you in there, I just want other people's opinion, as in, would they class it as supporting someone just by going into the box on an app? I mean, listen, if it was a friend, like I said, off TikTok, I probably wouldn't be friends with them if they support that. But, is it the same on an app? Just going in someone's box, would you, what I mean? A lot of people said yes, because I just did a poll. They said, you go into someone's box that is, says shit.
Yeah, but Angie, that's like, right, that you go out tonight and go and rob Primark, and then I come in your box tomorrow morning. You're trying to say I'm associated to it when that ain't true.
Yeah, but the Jade, what she said about a child, a 12-year-old...
Right, Russia, that is nothing to do with me. I wasn't there when it got said. I'm not the one that said it. I'm not the one that's done it. I went into her box to reach out as a mother to another mother.
But why isn't they having the same for Torian?
Do I sit here and say anything about Angie? No.
Jade, you said from a mother to another mother. Let's face it, she's not really a mother, is she?
Well, she is a mother, Angie. She's got children.
Jade, I don't care. Anyone that says that about a child, that's not a mother. Sorry, no mother would say anything like that about kids. That's just my opinion.
So have you jumped in Gypsy Queen's box yet, Jade, and sort of had a one-to-one with her?
Has Gypsy Queen sat there talking about what Torian was on about this morning? No. If she had, then yes, I would jump in her live.
Yeah, but her son has got a form.
Right, okay, her son's done that. They're both as bad as each other as well, saying stuff, right? That isn't my argument to fight. I went in there as another mother to reach out, and there wasn't just me in the box. There was other people in them boxes that also was reaching out to people about it, not just me.
Reach out and ask about her son and how she's.
I don't know Gypsy Queen, like I don't know Torian. So don't put me in that category and try to put me sitting there to go over in other people's lives to go and ask about their children. I don't sit here and ask about people's children. I went into a live where it was being spoken about children with additional needs.
Can I just say something, Jade? And I understand that, but because I don't have children, but I just think of what my sister do. She's on TikTok, who has a child, right? And I told her this is what she said about a child. I don't think my sister would associate with that person. She'd
right,
be like, what? Oh
my sister's not. My sister's not on here. My sister's not said anything to me.
My sister, because I don't have children.
Exactly, but I can't sit there and say anything, Angie, because nothing like that's happened. I went in there purely because of the fact of what we were talking about, and I'll stand my ground, and I'm not going to go and sit here and turn around and say that I need to go across to Gypsy Queen, I need to go across to whoever, this, that and the other. No one's putting me in that bracket.
Jade, can I just say, I don't give two shits personally. I don't really care, but I'm just saying.
How am I an enabler?
Well, we get called Angie enablers if we're in her box and we're not even saying nothing. So you have to be tarred with the same brush, is that not?
Because I was sitting there talking about send kids.
Jade, I am a mother of a little boy with autism. I know the difficulties, I know the stresses, and I do believe mothers need to stick together. but I will never help a woman
that's you.
who could speak. Yeah, well, I am talking about me, Jade. I am talking about me. I would never help a woman who could speak so disgustingly of another little child, ever. And
That's you,
shame
that's
on
not
you.
me.
Shame on you.
Yeah, well, shame on me, but that's you, not me. I've
would
done
you want
nothing wrong
advice from
other than
someone
be
instead of
there
embarrassing
for
you
somebody this morning to talk about my struggles as well as their struggles, and that is it.
We all have struggles. Did she struggle saying what she did to Gypsy
But
Queen?
that isn't my argument. That isn't my fault.
Yeah, well,
Jade,
you went
I'm
into her
sorry.
box.
I can't talk about anyone else, but I don't really care about her struggles.
No, neither do
Well,
I.
you lot might not, but I went in there as another sense mum. But it's not whatever's got said. It's nothing to do with me.
It does. You're going into her box.
Association.
You're giving her the time of day. You're giving her the time of day. She can
Right,
Google
because
what
I
she's
was
fucking
talking
concerned about.
the
Tell her to
different things
Google
she
it.
can do with coats and stuff like that to give her a bit of advice for a child. So
Tell her to
what?
Google it. Tell her to Google it. She lost her
and
right to help
it's
on this
nice to
app
have other
when
people
she
there, so
said,
don't tell me to tell her to do this, that, and the
She
other.
said- do you know what she said about Gypsy Queen's son? He should
Angie,
have died.
I've seen it
He
all,
should
and
have
I've not
died.
agreed with any of it.
He should have died.
Yeah,
That's
but
what she said.
literally-
Right, and I've not ever sat here and agreed with any of it. No, I've sat in Tories right and agreed with any of it. No, I went in there to talk about what we was talking about. That is it.
well, you should have told her to Google it. She lost her right to
No,
advice
not
on this
to
app
then tell
when
someone
she
to
did what
Google
she
it, if I
did.
can help him.
No, she doesn't
No,
deserve it.
Jade, you're lying because you went in on your Dorothy account, yeah? And
Yeah,
as
but
soon
did
as-
go in
and
on my
because
Dorothy
you-
account,
No,
and
listen,
what?
listen, because you knew you were going to get found out.
No,
yeah?
I didn't.
Because
I
as
didn't
soon
give
as
a
you
shit. I
dropped-
went in on my Jade account as well.
Shush. As soon as you dropped, you went back onto your Jade account and you was in Sobriety Jack's live. In
No,
his
I didn't
boxes,
actually. I went to
looking
Levi's
for him.
live.
And you were
because
in
that's where
Cam
we
Two
were
Crew.
showing
Out.
the proof
You
of
thought
what
you
was
wouldn't
said.
get caught out, but you got caught out.
You were
I don't
caught
give a shit if
rotten.
you got caught out on my Dorothy account. Everybody knows
Can I
it's
ask
me.
Nadia and Lala a question? Can I ask you guys a question?
Yes.
Because listen, I know that I don't really give two shits what Jade does, right? She can go wherever she wants, and I don't want her to feel she's been controlled with it's just an app, it's a box, right? Okay,
Yeah.
but I do feel, listen, if it was my sister who's got a child, and I can't speak for myself because I don't have kids, she would not associate or even go into someone's box that is working on the child like that. I wouldn't either, right? Okay, but saying that, it is an app and it's a box. Do you think it's a little bit different? You know, because I can understand if it was off TikTok. You know what I mean? Do you think that is different? Just going in someone's box or not?
It is. Well, I don't think she should have went into her box for the simple reason what she said about another child, and then she's expecting people to go into her box and help her with her difficulties. I'm a mother of a child with autism. It is hard. It's very fucking hard. But she lost her right to help on this app when she said what she said about another child.
Yeah.
But I'm my own person. I can go in anywhere. I've done
We're not
nothing
saying
wrong.
that you can't, but you
Yeah,
can't.
but we're not saying that, Jay. But what we're saying is the person that box you're going into always screams that, oh, look, it's so-and-so, Angie's enabler.
But that's
Oh,
nothing to
look,
do
it's
with me. I
so-and-so."
don't get involved in it.
Well, clearly you are if you're joining their boxes.
You know that same
Because I sat
person.
there for,
and I will
half
come
an
with
hour
a thing.
talking about parents and
Wait,
sends
can I
kids.
just ask you a quick? Can I also just say, you know, that same person also said to Tam, and I know that a lot of people don't really like Tam, but also said to Tam because of beef that she was going to, Doreen said to Tam that she was going to come to her house and beat her up in front of her
But
children.
Angie, that's nothing to do with me. I've not
Jesus.
seen it. That is nothing
And
to
do
do
you
with
realise
me.
Alicia agreed and said that she would do the same?
That's
But that's
disgusting.
not me. I don't know nothing about it. I wasn't in there.
Well, Jade, you're not very loyal, and you don't stand up for children. Then, obviously, if you're going to go into somebody's
So
box
you can't
like
say that. I've got my own child and I very, very much stand up for children.
Well, why
Yes,
didn't you
but-
stand up to Torian with what she said about a child? Did you go into her
Because
box
it's
and call her
nothing to do
out
with
on
me. I
it?
went in there to talk
It's to do
about
with everyone.
kids.
Children
I'm
are
not gonna
everyone's
go bring someone else's children into it.
Children
because
are
I want
everyone's
someone to bring my
responsibility.
child up.
Children
If
are
I didn't
everyone's
know it.
responsibility.
But Jade, you tried to do it sneakily by going in on your Dorothy account.
Hang on a
thinking
minute,
no one
Angie
was
knows
gonna
my
catch
Dorothy
you.
account. Everyone knows
Thinking
my
no one
Dorothy
was gonna
account. I don't
catch
go in
you.
sneakily.
We were
If I did,
camping
I'd
and
gone
we
in a
saw
different
it.
name.
We saw you in the box. And then as soon
I
as
don't
you dropped,
care.
you went on
It
your
wasn't
Jade
no
account.
secret.
Shush. And then as soon as you dropped from the box, you switched back to this account that you're on now, and you was
I
in
was
Jack's
always on
boxes
this
mugging
account.
for him.
I didn't go into Jack's live. I went into Cam 2 live.
No,
And then
you
I went into Jack's later
live 'cause I
on.
saw you.
Yeah, Cam 2 live. Then I went into Jack's later on.
Can I just say, it sounds like so Torian's kids does not matter. Yes, I do, and I've said a lot. I said I've said it quite a lot on this app, right? That no one should be threatening Torian. No one should be going to a house or threatening her to go to a house because she also has children. I've had people say, I don't care, that's all bets are off. You know, someone says that to my child, I'll be kicking their door down. I don't agree with that either, because her children are also innocent.
No one's children should be.
You're being caught out, Jay. Just own it and say, yes, I shouldn't have been in there. And don't.
No, I
Keep
won't
it
say
moving.
I shouldn't have been in there. I went in there. I know why I went in there. So don't try and put words in my mouth.
She can go.
I did
wherever
nothing
she
wrong
wants,
other than
but
talk
it's
about
the
Sen's
fact
children. That is it.
It's the fact that this app is so like divided and so like damaged control that nobody can actually say, oh, you are an enabler of so and so, but they can say that about you with Angie. It's just it's really weird. It's just, why is it acceptable for everyone to say, oh, you need to get out of my life? Like, I get blocked because they think that I screen record for Angie, but I don't. Like, Angie's never.
That isn't me.
No, I know that. But what I'm saying is, the
that
life
isn't
you
me.
go
So I'm not going to
into-
sit here and say you do this, that, and the other. That isn't me.
Yeah, but we get that. But it's still guilty by association, like we
No,
are
not
with
really, because
Angie.
she said
Apparently,
it, what she said. She hasn't said it why I've been in her life. It's nothing to do with me.
Yeah, but why would you want to sit there and talk
Because
about
we
your
were talking
SEN
about
child?
children with additional needs.
Yeah, but why would
Yeah,
you
but
want to get
of all
advice from
people, why
her
would you-
after she's
I
just said
didn't get
that about
advice
another
from her. I went in
child?
to talk about
after the week
and
of
stuff.
where she's
If you
been
listen
slated
from
for
the
what she-
beginning,
For what she said about that little child.
but that is not me. She
And you
hasn't
would
said
sit
it
in her
why I was
box
in
and
her
you'd
life.
listen
That
to
is
her.
nothing to do with me.
Okay,
You're
so
so
for
loyal
it
If
to
my
not to be
sister
double
went
standards,
in
everyone
someone's
needs to
box
stop
like Torian,
saying.
I wouldn't sit here and slate my sister.
Well,
I'd
everyone
actually
needs to
say,
stop
well done,
saying that
because
we're
standing up
enabling
for Sen's
Angie then,
kids.
because if they want the same response across the app, they need to stop saying, "Oh, you need to get out of my life because
But
you
that's not
associate with Angie."
me. Take it up with the people that are saying it. I don't know who says it. That isn't me.
No, and we're not saying it's you, but we're saying the
Well, then
people.
just don't go on at me
It's
about
not 3-on-1,
people saying,
guys.
oh, you're an enabler, you're this,
No,
that,
I'm
and the other,
just
because that
talking
is not
in
me.
general.
If
I'm not
they're saying
talking-
that to you, sort it out with them, not me.
Yeah, but Jade, we're trying to let you know that what she
I
said.
don't care what you're trying to let me know. I went in there for one reason and one reason only, and that's what I did. And I'd do it to anybody.
No, but we're trying to say what she said to another
She's still got
another
children, and
mother
she's still a mother herself, whether she said stuff or
is
not.
awful.
So I would be there for any mother.
So if she said that about your son, would you still have the same approach?
If she said that about my son, do you think would we even be speaking? No. At the end of the day, I went in there and I'll stand my ground. I've got nothing to do with what got said. The only thing I've got to do with is what was said in there today. And you lot are coming at me, calling me an enabler, this and that. No, I'm not having it.
No,
I did
I never
nothing
called you
wrong.
an enabler, Jade.
I did nothing wrong.
I just
you can't
mentioned
tell
what
me where
I
I can and
saw.
can't go. I've done nothing wrong.
I never called you
At
an
the end of the
enabler.
day, I'm sorry, but she didn't go into like cuss you lot or anything. She literally was just talking about the kid with a coat. I get that no one likes Torian at the minute, but I think people should see that past that. She was trying to help a child who has difficulty.
But I think it's more to do with morals and loyalty, though.
I get
Like,
what
if
you
she
think
can
is
go and
right.
do
If I
that,
support
then she
other
can do
people,
I have a
anything.
heart of a 12-year-old boy. Connor, my son is 12
Yeah,
himself
he's a
with
young
additional
boy.
needs.
He's freezing
I'm
cold
going
and
to
he won't
sit
wear a
here and
coat.
defend any child.
trying to help the
I'm not
boy.
going to sit here and bring somebody else's child up that I don't know the lady to cause that lady more trauma about what's already been said. I'm not
But
going to
then
sit
if
there
you know
and do
what she's
that.
already said, why would you even chance going into that room knowing what
Because we're
everybody else
talking
would
about
say?
children, our own children with the additional needs.
You'd just move on, wouldn't you? You wouldn't really
Yeah,
like
not really. I'm talking
associate
about
yourself with
other
someone
mothers
who's
as well
deaf
in
and a
there.
child.
Okay,
You
maybe
can't
my
say this and the other. It wasn't nothing to do with me.
Well, we can say it, and we have.
Yeah, you can
Jade.
see it, but she don't have to agree.
Okay,
Yeah,
Jade.
well, exactly.
Exactly. So that's it. End of conversation, isn't it? I get what people are saying, but I don't think it's a loyalty thing. Unless Torian's called her names directly or anything. I get that the act, what Torian did, people don't agree with. Totally understandable. But
wild.
when it comes to children, I think if a mum's asking for advice, she's a send mum herself. She knows how difficult it is. She's gone and gave the advice, and then she came out the box because everyone was attacking her. There was people
like
from
Evan
Amsterdam
said,
Angie's live. No, I'm still speaking. I'm still speaking. There's people from Angie's live in the comments. No one called them names or paid attention to them or anything. Jade or Dorothy, whatever your name is, didn't say anything bad about anyone. She didn't even mention Angie. I didn't even know she was one of Angie's friends. You know, one of them ones. And that's what I'm saying. She wasn't disloyal while she was in the box. She wasn't saying anything bad about Angie. She wasn't saying anything bad about anyone. She just came for the conversation and then she was just going to leave. You're saying she got caught. She didn't get caught. Everyone knows Angie come to's other people's lives. Everyone knows we come to her. Do you know what I mean? It's a thing on this app. It's not about getting
And the
caught.
thing is, Angie knows that I'm Dorothy.
Angie was doing her FYP. She wasn't even come to it at the time. It's because
and that's
someone in the comments
understandable. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, everyone
she
knows
was
to
in
do that.
Torian's live. Why?
Angie, let me ask you a question. Do you know that I go under the name of Dorothy as well as my other account, Jade?
Why don't you just have one?
People say no
Why
more.
go
She
on
didn't go in the
multiple?
live. Shut up. She can have as many as
Shut up.
Angie, do you know
I'm
that
not
I
telling you
go
to
under
shut
with
up.
Dorothy and Jade because they come in your boxes, both of them? Do I or not?
Jade, I apologise for my articulation. Maybe I came in wrong and I could have handled the situation differently. So my part, I apologise for being aggressive towards you. But at the same time, I personally don't agree with you going into her boxes after
I understand
what was
that
said
you do
towards
like
that
people.
child.
Angie, can you answer my question? Do you know that I go under with Dorothy in my normal name?
That's me.
Jade, was you in camp too this morning saying how much you love Torian? And camp
No, I didn't say how much I love Torian. Oh, did I say that, Lauren?
No, she didn't. She didn't. People are twisting things. She did not say that.
Do you see what I mean? At least she's had kicked off in Torian's life.
You had a lovely life with you this morning.
Listen, all she said was, "Hi, Lauren. It's Jade, Dorothy."
I don't think it's what she said. It's more of the fact of what Torian said, and she's gone in there. That's the whole situation. We're just going around in circles.
Jade, are you Torian's mod?
Me?
Yeah.
Who? Me?
I'm not.
Jade.
No, Jade's Jack's mod.
Because a lot of people are saying in the comments.
Yeah,
that's
No, I'm not for Jack. I'm not Torian's mod at all.
No,
So there's me she's knowing even more.
Get you lot against Jade.
He will be after today.
It wasn't. I think
I don't want to be no one's mod.
I think people have read too much into the situation and they're twisting it. All she literally said was, "Have you tried this coat? Because my son's blah blah." Do you know what I mean? That's
I
literally.
don't think it's about what she said though. It's about
Then
going
people are
into
saying that
someone's
she said
box that has
certain
said
things.
something
So
about a
what? I'm
child
the mother.
being
That's
unalive that should have been unalive.
Some people can separate a bad action from a bad person, and she saw past that and saw that she's struggling with her child. I think that means Jade's a good.
Well, good. I hope she's struggling with her child with what she said about
don't think
her
so.
child.
It's
disgusting.
No, wait. When she said something about someone else's kids, no one liked it. So don't be saying things like that because that's not kind.
That's not fair on her son. Her son's done nothing wrong for you to say that.
And then you're cussing her kid. Angie, are you going to call her up? Because that's not nice.
what, Miss K?
What?
Yeah, you're saying about Torian saying stuff about kids. And then she's going
Good. I'm glad
Torian's
Torian's suffering. What about Gypsy Queen? And she's suffering what Torian said to her. So don't come at me.
This is where Gypsy Queen, no.
I'm not gonna lie, Louisa. If someone said that about my niece, do you think I really would give a fuck? Do you think I really? One second, can I just say, do you think I really give a fuck about she's struggling? 100% not.
I don't care either.
I agree with Miss K on that one. If that was, because I don't want to put my niece. One second, let me just speak. I don't want to put my niece in that situation, you know. But when I really think about it, if someone said that to my niece, right, that had been, you know what? Do you think I'd be thinking?
Thank you, Amy.
No, I understand that.
100% not. I would not be thinking.
I understand you saying. No, and I would. I understand you saying you don't care about Torian struggling, but why would you
If
say
Torian didn't say what
is
she
struggling?
said, then albeit everyone go help her. But the fact that she said what she said to Gypsy Queen is absolutely vile. Who would want to go in her box?
Wait, Gypsy Queen said that Torian essays her children and no one's saying anything about
Yeah,
that.
but it's all tit for tat though.
What people need to do is put their self in Gypsy.
You're going to mute me. I'm not going to talk because, yeah, I think it's right. You should put yourself in her shoes. But I don't think Jade did it from a place of, oh, I'm going to go on Torian's side and talk to them. She literally just saw she was struggling with a child.
No,
she could help the child, not help Torian. This is a child we're speaking about. Separate the mum from the child. She had advice because she's a send mum, and everyone knows sometimes it's hard as a send mum to get your child to do certain things. She had advice to offer, that was it. And then she left the live, and then on cam 2, all she said to me was, it's Dorothy, as in, and I said, oh, the person I was just speaking to. She said, yeah, and then that was it. People are coming in and out of live saying that people are saying different things, honestly. Nothing else got said.
People are saying I've been caught out because I'm under as Dorothy as well as Jade. Angie knows I'm Dorothy.
Exactly.
Angie knows I'm Jade. She knows I'm both of them, so I've not been caught out on anything.
Alicia was slagging Angie off, and you were saying how much you like Torian. And
I haven't spoken with Alicia.
She was in the
She
box.
came in Torian's box and said everything. I haven't spoken to none of them.
On cam 2, Alicia came in after Jade had left. Alicia came in after Jade had left, so let's not lie. She's lying to you, Angie. Please don't
I was
listen to
on the
these
fucking
people.
phone to my dad when Alicia was in cam 2's box.
Yeah, she wasn't in there. People are chatting to wind people up. Angie, literally, don't fall out with your friend over this. I think it's sad. She didn't do nothing
I'm
wrong.
not like me and Jade, she comes in my box. I wouldn't class us as friends. No offence, Jade, but you just
No, I understand that, but I don't think...
like I said, my question is when someone has done wrong or said something or done wrong on this app and you go into someone's box, are you just as bad? It was a question. Listen, I don't really give two shits what Jade has done. Do you know what I mean? And that's all it was. The question is, what do other people think, it being an app? You know what I mean? Would you say she's just as bad? And then it's just gone a bit self.
I think, I know it's gone off skew, but I think some people can separate the action from the person and some people can't, which I understand. I'm not saying anyone's wrong for that, but I think sometimes people want you to go around to their way of thinking, and not everyone thinks the same. We all process things differently at a different speed. Do you know what I mean? Someone could have inboxed Jade, do you know what I mean? I feel like it's been a bit of a I hate Jade thing this morning, and she hasn't done it wrong.
So remember, people call my supporters enablers, don't they?
No, and I understand that.
With anybody.
I understand.
I support my family myself. That's it.
But I think you know Jade going into Torian's box and her being one of your followers. If nothing had have been said after, that would have proven that they're not your enabler. Do you know what I mean? That would have proven that actually they're not there to just go into Torian's box and cuss them. It's just a bit unnecessary. You know,
Now you're saying I'm fucking talking to Alicia. That's a load of shit.
I said you were in the box with Alicia. Well,
she wasn't in the box with Alicia.
I was on the fucking phone to my dad when she was in Camden's box.
She was.
Oh my God, do you want me to get my dad on the line to prove it?
Why you always lying?
No, you're in your
Why you always lying?
Yeah, whatever.
No, sorry, that was childish. But she wasn't in the box with Alicia. Alicia went in after. She went in first, right, and said it was me, because obviously it's been spoken about, wasn't it? And she said it was me that was in Torian's box. And then she dropped down. There was other people in the box talking about other things. And then Alicia came in after. But I just wanted to say, she didn't do nothing bad. She didn't say nothing bad about you.
I love it.
You what? No, she didn't say nothing bad about you. Like I said, I think that proves that actually she is not your friend or whatever, but that she's not shady, because she didn't go in and go, I'm so sick of Angie or whatever. Do you know what I mean? She just literally spoke about the kid and that was it. But yeah, I just wanted to say my piece. I'm going.
Gypsy Queen.
Oh, that wasn't me.
Oh, what happened there?
I don't know. I don't even know who that was.
Angie. That weren't me neither, before anyone accuses it of me.
No, I know.
I don't know who that was. But yeah, I'm going anyway, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going as well. I'm not going to sit here justify myself because I've done nothing wrong. I'm going, Angie. I'll speak to you later.
Oh, thank you, Angie the Grinch.
She always has the right song at the right time.
I just was interested, honestly, as to what other people thought, because, my supporters do get called enablers and get called, why would you support Angie? Let's support us out. So I'm just wondering if people have that same attitude with that, for other people. Yeah,
we should do, Angie. The thing with this app is that everybody goes around the boxes. And Jade didn't actually say anything about you, but she's there when Alicia's going in on you, like she always does.
Mm-hmm. I think that was just all a little bit pathetic. It's not high school, I don't like that person, don't talk to them. If you don't like her, then just don't speak to her. Do you know what I mean? I just think it was a bit silly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Glasses in the box.
I wouldn't talk to her, to be honest. I did like go in her comments because she looked a bit remorse, like she looked a bit sorry for what she said. But I do agree, you know, what she said was disgusting. I mean, 12 is 1 year older than my children. And, you know, if someone said that about my children, I wouldn't even be on TikTok. But, you know, if other people want to go on her boxes, you know, they're free women. You know, you're not their mum, you're not, you know, the parent. Let them be. Personally, I think that was a bit bad how everyone ganged up on her.
Can I ask you all guys a question, right? Say if that Torian, said that about your child, right? So put yourself in Gypsy. I keep forgetting Gypsy. I keep thinking of Gypsy Rose. Gypsy Queen.
I was watching that yesterday.
So put yourself in her shoes, right? And Torian said that about your child and wished your child to, you know, die and all this, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, you've got someone saying about, you know, they've gone into the box because Torian is talking about her struggles with her children, right? And I've always said, you know, no one should be going for Torian's children because they are also innocent. And that's what I hate when people say I'm going to knock at someone's doors. It's ridiculous, right? But, however, if they said it to you about your kids, now be honest with me, and I'll do a poll on this one.
It depends how close you are to them.
No, honestly, be completely honest, because there's a reason why I'm asking this question, right? Because there are going to be some people that just don't care about their kids, yeah? Even if it's nothing to do with the kids, as she said about your kid, right? And I know 100% there's going to be some people that's not going to give a shit about kids. So, be honest, would you really give a shit about her and her kids?
Angie, one sec.
If they said it about your child.
1 sec, Angie. Someone in the comments said, oh my God, how many times can Torian be talked about? It was a week ago.
Well, the thing is, Nadia, it's been talking about this last night, right? Devin was talking about it last night.
Yeah, and I think everyone's saying how that girl went in their box, but personally, if it was my child, I wouldn't give a shit what strangers were doing. It depends. Obviously, if a friend or family member went into her box, and that's really, really hurtful. But, you know, strangers on the app, it's just like, you know, you can't control what they do. You know?
Well, the thing is, and you still got Devin and Torian, and they only spoke about it like the last couple of days. And like I said, when I went live 12 o'clock or 8 o'clock this morning, my FYP, I spoke on Devin, who was disgusting. So then it just keeps getting continued because they're continuing it, you know, because Devin is her friend. So if it keeps getting continued, well, I'm going to, you know, mention it on my FYP. So my question, guys, and I'd like to know the answer. If someone said that about your child, would you really give a shit about her and her children? Would you really care?
When you say give a shit about their child, what do you mean though? Like what would happen to their child?
There will be people out there. If someone has said that about your child, it's like, well, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, obviously.
No, if someone was going to beat me up. I don't have children, right? So I can put myself in that situation. So, you know, I would never ever condone anyone going to Torian's house when I think she has children. You get what I'm saying? But I feel that with some mothers, they may feel, you know what, I don't give a shit what happens to your kid after what you just said about mine. There are some parents that do think that.
All kids are innocent.
Me personally, I don't think I would because it wasn't the child that said it.
I don't have children. But I'm asking parents.
You would want her to suffer, not the child.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish anything on the children, to be honest. Yeah. I'd rather her get her karma than her children.
I wouldn't give a toss about her or her child. See what I mean? There are people that wouldn't give a shit about her and her child. Because
all children are innocent at the end of the day.
Yeah, children are innocent.
But some parents think, well, if you've got a mother like that, maybe, you know, maybe the apple don't fall far from the tree. You know what I'm saying?
I think the thing is, Angie, right, is last week when it first came out, he was using that as all the racism on the app, and it wound her up, and that's why she reacted. And now it's changing tack, and she's got a send child.
Make sure it's better.
Send children. Do you know what I mean? But that doesn't give you an excuse if you've got a send child to say vile things like that, no matter how stressed you
I know
are.
what you're saying, Nikki, but I know a lot of people, if someone was to say that after their child has been, nearly died, and you've got a mother that has children saying something, the most vilest thing, your child should have died, there are parents that would say, you know what, I don't really give a shit about you, and I don't actually give a shit about your child either, even I don't care how innocent your child is.
Well, that's like saying, people are saying, well, the apple don't fall from the tree and stuff in the comments.
Yeah.
So if my child's dad does something wrong, does that mean my children deserve to suffer because they must be like their dad,
Well, some people might look at it. Some people even might look at, come for your kid then. You were saying that about my child, come for your kid.
No, I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Yeah, I would, as a mother, I would never wish that on anybody. Especially, I'd wish the karma for the person, but I would never go as low as
Because I've known
the
parents
kid.
to think that way. That's why I've asked the question. I have known parents.
The kid wasn't the one that said it. It's the parent that said it. So I'd wish the karma on the parent.
I think that about children as well. Whatever comes out of children's mouth, whether it's racist or whatever it is, it's come from the parents. It has come from somewhere. So even when a child does something wrong, it shouldn't be the child to suffer. It should be the parents.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish that.
I actually apologised if he was here. Thank you.
I do think she needs to go and educate herself, but she's very good at educating.
But take Victorian out the equation, and someone said something about your child, in same scenario, blah blah blah, and something happened to their child. Would you care?
Yes, I would.
Even though they said something about your child.
But two wrongs don't make a right.
No, but let's not be all PC. Let's not be PC, because there's a lot of people, believe it or not, because I think people just is talking bullshit. I think
The question would be, would you want revenge on that person, even if it meant in front of the child? I think that's what you're trying to say. So if that's the only way you can get revenge.
No, nothing about revenge. What I'm saying is, someone said something about your kid, but the worst thing ever, blah, 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 and something happened to their child, would you care as a parent when that parent has said something about your child? Would you actually feel sad for that child? You'd be surprised.
It's a hard question. It's a hard question because if someone said that about my child and I only could confront them when they're with their child, would I do that or not, knowing what they said about my child? But it wouldn't be fair to confront someone in front of their child, But, when something like that said, it can't always be, Disney fairy way of doing it.
Yeah. You'll be surprised, though. A lot of parents would probably say no.
Yeah, every child matters. Every child matters.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I'll say lots.
Every child matters.
Yeah.
I would never wish any harm on any child, no matter what's happened. Even to my worst enemy, I'd never wish harm on their child.
Yeah.
No child deserves it. They're all innocent, And if they're not innocent, it's because of the parents.
Yeah. 100%, I agree. All children, that's what I say, we've got to remember Torin has children, and she was getting a lot of threats. I don't know if she's still getting threats, because of what she said. And I was saying, no, that's not all right, because she does have innocent children, and they have not done anything wrong.
Yeah, but
if she's getting threats, it should be her that gets
some
the
parents
threats.
actually think in their head when you say something about their child. You'll be surprised. I have seen.
Yeah, but is she getting the threats and you're her children getting the threats? It's two different things.
Yeah.
She said that her children were getting threats to unalive and things like that.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm trying to say. Do you understand? There are people that would actually.
How old's the child?
Who Gypsy Queens?
No,
I'm not sure how her children are, but
that is so sad.
Because we're threatened. See, that's not okay. So do you understand? Well, I have seen it. I have heard it. And these are parents probably making these threats.
Yeah, and she also had a message from somebody that said that they wish that her kids get raped and horrific stuff like that.
That is absolutely disgusting. That's worse than what she's done.
And you'll be surprised, guys. This is why I asked the question. People probably think, oh my God, why would you ask such a question? Because this is what I'm trying to say. You'll be surprised how many people that had made those threats to Torin have children. You will be surprised. I reckon I reckon the majority of those people that have said that do have children.
No,
and that's why I asked the question.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from now, Andy.
Yeah.
No, I feel like she should be the one to suffer, but I feel like she has, and I feel like she's not showing it fully on TikTok, and she's trying to be okay, but I feel like it has affected her. The question would be, is how much more do you think she should suffer? Do you think it's been enough, or do you feel like something more should happen to her?
There's another story, like the Tommy Robbins situation with those two kids, right? When they had a school fight, and that white kid was called a racist. There was more to it, but the media got hold of it and it went viral. And this 15-year-old boy, a child, was getting threats, and he was getting threats by parents, that have little children, because they thought he was being racist. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the documentary Silenced. So do you understand why I asked the question?
Yeah, I do understand, and it's like I don't.
You'll be surprised how many parents, if you say something to your to their child, how they would be like, well, coming for your child, or I don't really give a shit, or not even make threats towards your child.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with.
Apparently, I go into Torian's boxes. I've never been in Torian's boxes. The only person's boxes I've been in is Angie's boxes. I don't even go live.
This 15-year-old boy
No, that's a lie.
that was called a racist because of a school fight, and it was nothing to do with racism, but was told to go and unalive himself. And was the great, what someone said here was, about his family. I'm not going to say it's a bit of a trigger, but the worst of the worst that was said to him. And this is a child. And that was over racism.
Paula, just leave me alone now.
I know it is really bad, but no adult. I've been to rugby games with my son, he's 26 now, Auntie, and I've been 14, 15, and they've been beating another side and winning the game, and the parents have actually come on to attack the kids.
Yeah. Smiley just asked me, how do I know it was nothing to do with race? Because I watched a documentary called Silenced. And basically what happened is there was a school fight, and you saw the video, and he threw water on his face. I think he pinned him down on the ground and threw water on his face or something like that anyway. But he said, what did you say? So the Indian boy had said something for him to react the way he did. It was nothing to do with was because of the colour of his skin. And there was other kids that were saying he was a troublesome. He even brought a weapon to school. You get what I'm saying? But it was so twisted by the media, and it was all to make money. And there was a 15-year-old boy in the middle of this. He had to change his identity and move because of the threats he was getting, And this was a child. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And that was because of the media.
I just think Torian needs to stop making excuses and go and educate herself on knife crime. Go to somewhere local to where she lives and be educated by people.
Laura, if Tommy Robinson was not in the video. You could clearly hear the video of the boy, the white boy, saying, "What did you say to me?" And that's why he threw water in his face. But the media made out it was to do with the colour of his skin.
Yeah,
but even so, should a child be getting threatened in this way?
I wouldn't be able to cope if that was my child. I'm not going to lie. I would rather have double worse, triple worse done to me. If that was my son and I had that phone call, I just wouldn't be able to cope. Like, it's so sad. And then to have Torian say that, that it's just horrible.
Well, it came out that the boy... It came out that the boy actually threatened to rape his sister, and that's originally why he...
What's that?
The Tommy Robinson program you was just talking about.
That was right. Thank you. Yeah. So the Indian boy had threatened to rape his sister. So that's what it was about, and because the media got hold of it, they made it into a big race thing. And you had all these parents at the school making, and they're all making threats towards this boy. We had to move, change his identity and everything,
It was sad.
And this boy was living in fear.
I just came up to ask, basically I've heard a lot of people saying that parents have to blame for children's bad behaviours, and I was just wondering what everyone's opinion was on that.
It depends what it is. If things are coming out of their mouth, like racism or, stuff like that, they've got it from somewhere, especially if they're young. Like, where have they got it from, I know things come out at school and stuff like that, but I don't know. That's because I've got 4 kids and they've never come out with anything bad. obviously that's going to be my opinion, you know. But I do think obviously if children have got like autism or, you know, stuff like that, they're a little bit more harder to raise right. Like, you know, not raise right, but you know what I mean?
About autism. I don't really know any much about autism, right? So could you get done for assaulting someone if you have autism?
Yes, you can, Angie.
It's a behaviour problem, right?
Yeah, no, it's not, Andy. But the thing is, it's a neurological problem. And I've got a 19-year-old son who has autism, and he also has severe
Nicky, you're a little bit muffled. Because there's this boy on TikTok, and he's got autism, and he was smacking his mum and everything, and she was trying to calm him down, and she was saying he has autism.
But that's bad parenting. My 19-year-old, he got autism and severe learning difficulties. He's 6'5" and 20 and believe me, he knows right from wrong.
That guys.
Isn't there all different forms of autism now? So, like, it's different for everyone.
But no, they know right from wrong. An autistic child knows right from wrong.
My partner's disagreeing with you because his son's autistic. So he's like...
at the end of the day, they know right from wrong. Do you know what I mean?
I don't agree with that because I have a little cousin who's really severely autistic and he does actually like hit his mum and stuff, and I know for a fact that his mum has done everything that she can to obviously calm him down, but there's nothing to calm him down when he's like that.
I'm not saying calm him down.
So can a child or an adult get in trouble for that sort of behaviour if they don't know the difference between right and wrong?
I'm not saying the outbursts and everything. What I'm saying is that an autistic child knows right from wrong. I'm not saying that they don't do it and they don't have outbursts and meltdowns, but I'm saying they know right from wrong. They wouldn't go up to some random person and just hit them for no reason.
They can't control their outburst.
No, they can't, and they have massive meltdowns.
But are you saying, Nicky, that they can tell the difference between right and wrong?
Yes, they do know the difference between right and wrong.
Is there different forms of autism where maybe
some people are high functioning autism, Andy, where they've got like amazing jobs and they're very thing, and there's some who are non-verbal. The spectrum is huge.
Right. There's a lot of people in this box. Let's try. Does anyone disagree with Nicky? Do you want to get in the box? Because a lot of people are saying wow at that. So does somebody want to get in the box?
Hey, Ange, can I just give my experience?
Yep.
So I am the mum of twin 14-year-old boys. Both autistic, both on the spectrum, but completely different ends of the spectrum. Both raised in the same household by the same parents. And I'd have to agree that they know right from wrong. They know if they're taught right from wrong. If they're not taught right from wrong, then they'll never know, will they?
Exactly. That's the way I feel about it as well. I've made sure they always knew right from wrong and never used it as an issue.
Yeah.
You know, having twins, I've got a perfect example of how two children could be different. And they're not. They're the same. They're well-behaved boys.
Look, I need to disagree, okay? Look, in all honesty, I need to make this clear. Autism is a spectrum, okay? So not everybody experiences the same symptoms with autism. It's very, very different. So some people with autism can obviously understand what is right and wrong, okay? But others have a lot of neurological problems that they find it hard to comprehend what's right and what's wrong sometimes. Hence, when they lash out and do things that you'd be like, okay, why are they doing that for? So it's very, very it's not just one set, like that's what all autistic people will understand. Like it's on the spectrum, it's very, very wide. Like these people are all very, very different. So that's basically what I'm trying to say. I do have a cousin that has autism and he knows what's right from wrong. However, his autism is not severe. Do you know what I mean? So he can function most of the time, like with a lot of things. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, guys. Have a lovely day.
Really, darling, before you go, am I right in saying that Asperger's is a type of autism as well, or am I wrong?
I think it is.
My son's autistic.
It is, yeah. They're not really labelled like that anymore. They all just come under the umbrella, but yeah, it would have been.
No, Asperger's and autism are two different things. They're very similar, but two different things. I want to make that clear. They're two different things. Hence why people get diagnosed with Asperger's and others get diagnosed with autism. So they're two slightly different things. They're kind of like sisters, like, you know, bipolar disorder and BPD sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
I'll just say my say and then I'll drop down.
Can I just say really quickly, Sarah Jane, a lot of people aren't agreeing with you on that one. Sweetie darling.
Also, hi, this is Yasmin's partner.
Are you disagreeing with me, or sorry?
Not
I'm not. I wouldn't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, I agree.
I think, especially with autism, same with ADHD, they know right from wrong, but when they're in that depressive state or they're having a rage or whatever, in that moment, they don't necessarily know right from wrong. They don't know what they're doing. They are in self-sabotage mode. So in that moment, they won't know. It's after that they'll decide whether it was right or wrong.
Yeah, so I've just come on to say it's not a behavioural thing. Like people are saying, oh, it's the way the child's brought up, autistic or not. Autism, I've got a daughter who's autistic and she's like, she's well behaved. But some children that have got autism suffer, like they have to hold in a lot of emotions and they don't know how to control their emotions. So they have these outbursts and it's not misbehaving, it's just the way they're controlling their feelings and emotions. So I just thought I'd come up there and put everybody straight. Well, the ones that are saying it's misbehaving, because it's not. It's what autism is about. And there is, like the lady next to me said, there's different levels of autism. Like my daughter's like not massively autistic, but then she's got a friend at school that is, and she has violent outbursts, and it's so hard to control with being a parent doing that. I've been there and I've witnessed it. And then after her daughter's crying because she knows what she's just done, but she's got no control of it. So I'll just sort of pop up and say that. Thanks.
I just want to say I apologise. I was incorrect about the Asperger's and autism. They have now been put into the one sort of diagnosis, so I apologise for that. I did just Google that and find out myself, so I apologise for that.
Can I just quickly say something, please? My son's age 11. He's severely autistic. He's non-verbal. He can't answer. He can't speak. He's never called me mum. He's never told me he loves me. He's literally gets frustrated all the time because he can't communicate. So he does have outbursts, but he don't know what's right from wrong. Do you get what I mean? You can't teach that child what's right from wrong. You can say no. He can take it in, but his attention to that detail of saying no, he forgets that within 2 minutes. So it's very difficult to just say all children, like kids that's autistic, know right from wrong, because my son don't, and he's age 11. I've just come from a Kansas appointment because he's been self-harming from the age of 7. I tell him the whole time not to put knives in, sharp objects in your throat. I go through the hell of everything. So
I personally, I'm so sorry to hear that. Like it must like be heartbreaking that you've never heard your son say he loves you, or but I'm sure you can see it like in his eyes and the way that he is with you, that he does love you.
He can be loving as well. He's loving, but where he can't talk, he gets frustrated. And that's, you imagine if you can't talk and you know what you want to say, you want to say what I want to do, or can I have, or how he's feeling. I mean, he's had wasps in his mouth. I've had glass in his mouth. He's literally got pica. He's got ADHD. Like he's done this entire spectrum of learning disability. So it's very hard for me to say that he knows what he's doing, because he doesn't. He has no clue whatsoever.
Can I ask a question? When they actually grow into be an adult and they committed a crime, would they then get let off with that crime?
No.
Due to autism?
No. My son will never be out in the normal world. He'll always be assisted living. He could never be on his own. He'll never be able to. So hopefully that would never happen. But
I'm afraid once somebody in that with autism turns a certain age, there's just absolute disregard for they have to fend for themselves basically in life, and if they commit a crime, they're treated exactly the same way as the average person would be treated, which I like. There is some. It's a difficult subject because obviously they're committing a crime and they shouldn't be committing it, but to take into consideration the difficulties and the learning. I mean, there's a massive difference. It's really hard to explain because, like, my daughter, I know that she'll grow up and she knows right from wrong. She doesn't have outbursts and she knows she mustn't do something and she knows what's right and wrong. But then you can have another child that's autistic, and like the lady called Lorna, it could be very severe. And I've got sympathy for you, sweetheart, because it must be so hard to control your child when he has these outbursts. Because
it's a guessing game, because he could be sitting there with his iPad, playing his, going through YouTube. He skips the same song and puts it on what time and time and repeat. I must know everything, even in French. He's English, but he plays French music on it. He can sit there and he's quite happy, and then all of a sudden he will just throw the iPad and he'll just have this massive outburst, and I have no clue why he's got that outburst, why he's done that. And no matter how much I try and say to him, calm down, calm down, if I'm in his space, personal space, he doesn't like that. He wants me out of the way, leave me alone. So I have to sit there sometimes for half an hour with him punching hell out of his face, ripping chunks out of his arms and his hands, because I can't get next to him. And then there's just no way I can tell him to calm down, because he will not have it, because he's that frustrated.
And of course, you have to be careful how you handle him as well, because you could get into trouble if you handle him wrong. So you've got that physical thing to deal with, and you're a mum. You know, you've not been trained how to, and it must be so hard for you to sort of, I'll hold him like this, but not too hard. And do you know what I mean?
How was ADHD diagnosed?
These days,
ADHD these days is diagnosed through children. I think the core part of it is through the school and what they see. You go to the doctors, EHCP reports, and then they go to what's it called?
Can you do a brain scan on someone with ADHD?
And
diagnose that way?
No, it's usually multiple agencies, and it's usually like the doctor, the school.
I think it's like assessments and things like that.
And also, just say one more thing. With ADHD, you can get medication. With autism, there's absolutely no medication that your child can take to help. There's nothing.
I get confused with autism and ADHD. I don't know why. Are they similar?
They are very similar. There's different types of ADHD also. I have ADHD, and one of my daughters has ADHD. And I think what a lot of parents, the mistake they make is they don't learn about the different types, because if you don't learn about it and you just go along with, oh, my child's normal, they're just a bit naughty, or the school goes along with, my child's just a bit naughty, then you can mispunish a child, because a lot of the times, especially with ADHD, when they have an outburst, you need to just leave them to it, because when they have space and they have time to reflect, it can take 30 minutes, it can take an hour. But after that time, they will then come to their senses and realise what they've done. But in that process, you can prolong it if you keep on punishing them. I'm going to take your iPad away, I'm going to take this away, I'm going to take that away. So they end up with nothing. And then at the end of it, when they come out of it, they've got nothing, so they snap straight back into it. So it really comes down to learning your child and going on Google, searching certain things up, getting help from professionals, because it really does help.
Going back to what Sarah Jane said about you've got to be careful with how you obviously restrain your child, from what Lorna was saying, obviously hitting themselves and stuff. I'd come across a lady on here yesterday, and she's actually been arrested for putting marks on her child's neck where she's actually had to restrain him. And I was just wondering what people's thoughts were on that.
Sorry, repeat that again.
So I seen this lady on here yesterday, and she said that she'd been arrested for putting marks on her child's neck, but it was due to the fact for him not hurting himself anymore. So
is that due to restraining him?
Yeah.
I don't know why you just
I don't have a problem with that. If you have to restrain someone, surely you have to restrain them, and you do anything.
But why would you do it
around the neck is a bit.
Well, it was just like obviously like around his neck, like strangling. It was just like above his shoulders, between his neck and shoulders, where she was like holding him down to stop him like hitting himself.
Yeah, this is what I was trying to say. It must be so difficult. I'm lucky that my daughter doesn't have these outbursts, but I've got total sympathy for anybody having to deal with that sort of thing with a child, and then along come the SS to put the noses in, and it's so unfair because they don't see that child the way the child is at home constantly. My friend had it. She's got her autistic daughter. She was driving the car one day. She was driving the car and she had an outburst and she could have caused an accident. So she had to smack a child to calm her down, to stop her. And then when the daughter got to school, she told the school, and the school was in contact straight away. Have you harmed your child? And it's just ridiculous. And that was a special school. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I've got total sympathy for anybody having to deal with that.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between smacking a child and restraining a child. If you're acting out a child, you're going to get arrested. If you've hurt them by accident by restraining them, that's completely different, isn't it?
Yeah. Hi, Angie. Hi. Can I just say, just quickly my experience, and then I'll drop down. So, my son, he's now 10. He is autistic, and he was diagnosed at the age of 4 when he started reception at primary school. Primary school was fine. He got funding through the school. We applied for an ECHP plan, all in time for him to go to junior school. The problem was junior school. The second day he was at junior school, my son has a trigger word, which was no. So you could say any other word apart from no. It was like a red flag to a bull. It was all in his transition and everything. Please don't use the word no. We can use I can't do this now. We can do this later. Use other words. So the head teacher on the second day of junior school, so he was 8 at this time, said, no, so-and-so, we can't use, play that game right now. Well, he turned around, he screamed and had a meltdown. The head teacher literally put her arms around him to restrain him, and he literally scratched all of her arms to bits, and he was expelled for 2 weeks. Now he's in a special school. Honestly, he is doing so well. He's 10. He is doing amazing. However,
Has a teacher got a right to restrict? I mean, I suppose anybody has a right to restrain.
Well, this is what me and my husband, when we were in the meeting with the head teacher, I mean, the head teacher was in tears. But literally, if they read up on it, they should never have used that word with him. She said that because my husband wasn't happy that she restrained him, but she said it was for his own safety. So if they're in danger,
yeah, sorry, Karen.
If they're in danger, then apparently it's fine. Right.
Yeah, but not smacking a child. I can't believe some of the stuff I've heard on this live.
That's disgusting. I mean,
some of the stuff I've heard on this live. Sorry, I don't get in boxes at all, Angie, but I've got a little boy who's 4, non-verbal, and is a handful. He has drawn blood from me, scratched me. I'm a single mum on my own. I have never smacked my child. I think that is absolutely disgusting.
I don't think anyone agrees with that at all. I don't agree with that. I think there's other ways
Absolutely, Angie, I agree. He has absolutely scratched me, drew blood. He doesn't talk. He can't verbalise. So when I hear people saying they know right from wrong, yes, they do to a level. But when I'm saying to my little boy, no, and he's having a sensory overload and he's literally crying his eyes out, ripping into me, there's a certain level of things that you can do. And I think the problem as a society is nobody knows about autism to the degree that they should. And everyone's very judgmental. And I'm really sorry to get in this box because I don't usually, but it's really upset me.
Just quickly say this really quickly. I mean, just around the corner where I live, a boy who had disability and learning difficulties, he also had autism, right?
Yes.
And it was really, really sad what happened. Now, her husband was at work, so she did have help, right? But I can't imagine, having an autistic child that's so out of control. It must be really hard,
It is honestly the hardest thing I've ever done.
She's in jail right now, and she unalived him. Because she snapped. I mean, can I ask you, what is it like being a single mother with a child with autism?
I've seen a lot of comments
that worked, so she had help.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of comments saying calm down and stuff, but obviously this is what I'm passionate about. This is my little boy. He cannot talk, so I am his voice. When it comes to me being a single mom,
you're getting upset, and we don't want you to get upset.
No, I'm not upset. I'm more nervous because I'm in the box. Sorry.
It's all right.
So my little boy, he doesn't have a dad. His dad is in prison for assaulting me in front of him. So it is just primarily me with my 10-year-old daughter. I think as a society, and there's not enough funding going into autism research. So my local authority have invited me to learn more about autism through studying in Manchester. All the universities and stuff have done more studies about autism, so I'm always willing to learn about my little boy. But the thing that really gets me, Angie, and I'm sure so many parents with autistic children are watching this and can understand, when they're having a meltdown and you're overwhelmed, and me on my own, I'm always on my own. So when he's overwhelmed, and I'm pretty sure most people will agree with this, you avoid certain situations for the benefit of your child. So my little boy,
you pick your battles and you pick your fight.
Absolutely, so I totally agree. But the thing is, as a society, there's not enough knowledge, and people look at me like, oh, she's a young mum who can't control a child, when I've got a 10-year-old who absolutely excels in school. But my little boy, to most people, he looks like he's being bad, naughty, etc. That little boy's my world, and he can't talk, and he can't tell me he loves me, but that little boy does love me more than anything. Sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah, I've definitely learned a lot about autism. I think I'll hold my hands up. I was so uneducated about it. And, when you see naughty kids, it's like, oh, they're naughty kid. Like, when I was younger. So I think it definitely should be more educated to people. That,
I watched this video of a woman, a single mother with a child, an older child with autism, and he was hitting her, and she was trying to, grab him and calm him down. And my thought was, why don't you just leave him alone and walk and go into the other room, because he was lashing out at her. So I'm just wondering, would that not have, solved the situation by
yes,
or that was him hurting himself?
My daughter goes to a special school, and they've got in each classroom, they've got like a quiet room. And if
like a soft play room.
Yeah, it's lovely, and they've got like a tent inside with lights, and it's quite a good school. It really is. I just want to say,
can I put my 2 pence in?
Yeah.
Even with an educational healthcare plan, there's not enough special schools in this country. There is not enough schools that have the equipment, the knowledge, the staff to accommodate for these children. So as parents, and to me especially coming on this platform, I'm my little boy's voice. So I think if anyone out of the 1.8k people watching this, if you could do anything, is educate yourself on autism. It's not
absolutely.
Oh, it's been a little bit.
Yeah, it's like
it is a spectrum.
My partner's kid's got autism, and I'll ask him, "Do you want dinner?" and he'll tell me to pee off. And I've just got to try and take it not to heart, because, I'm learning about it still. And my partner says, you need to go on Google, you need to learn this, you need to learn that. you know, and that's what I'm doing. And with the, you know, the older son, naturally, I feel awful saying this, but he'll come down and talk to me. He'll message me when he's out, and you know, we got our bonding. Well, with him, I've just got to learn to give him his space and not be too overbearing, and you know,
it's a learning process the whole way.
What about medication for ADHD? Does that help?
My son's on medication for sleep because his brain, if he doesn't have medication to sleep, he will literally be awake. Even though there's no pad, there's no noise, he will hum to himself for hours. So he needs medication to go to sleep.
That's the same as my little boy, but also for ADHD, I'm not sure if this is an actual thing, but maybe just like my local authority, they won't do an assessment for my little boy for ADHD until he's 6. So he's on medication for sleep, but it doesn't do anything.
How old is he?
Like, if you met my little boy, he's got energy for days.
Does anyone else's son deny they have autism? It's just because my partner's kid would always say, you know, I haven't got it, when it's, you know, quite clear he has.
Has he been diagnosed, Jasmine?
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question?
Does anyone else's son deny they're autistic?
It is hard. It is hard. My daughter's like, she's like I say, she's autistic, but she's like middle sort. There's like levels. There's all sorts of different levels. So to look at her, you wouldn't think she was autistic. She doesn't show it on the outside, but it's on the inside. And she got to a certain age where she was asking questions: what's autism? Why am I autistic? And I'm just trying to explain to her in a nice way and say it's because you're special, you think differently, and it makes you special, sort of thing. And it's just basically where they say, like, and if you've got like, it's either black or white to them, life is. It's either black or white.
Black and white.
But this is also so sad because autistic people, whether you're high functioning, low functioning, they go about their day-to-day life acting not like in hyphenates normal, because if they're to act a certain way, they're to get judged. Like the amount of people that look at me when I take my boy out because he doesn't communicate with me with words, he makes noises, is actually disgusting.
Yeah, it is. It's horrible. It's awful.
I have to say that when I had my my 10-year-old, I've got a 20-year-old and a 10-year-old, and when I had him, I had postnatal really bad, but he was also a very unsettled baby, even from the minute he was born. And I was so thankful for my husband because he's just been diagnosed with autism and he's 43. And it all makes sense now because when my son was growing up, he was non-verbal until he was 7. And I would never get it. I just didn't have patience. I didn't understand my son at all. I couldn't read him. But my husband, it's like they clicked. And they do say a lot of autistic kids gravitate to other autistic kids, and I'm so thankful in a way because I don't know how I would be in this position now if it wasn't for someone who taught me how to deal with my son. I know that sounds terrible, but he taught me so much.
Yeah, a lot of question. Well, you know, with autism, can it get better?
No, they can grow. They can. What's the word? I'm hoping.
Control it.
Yes, and they can learn to fit in a little bit, if that makes sense.
They learn to adapt rather than acting how we would. I don't know how to word it without being offensive, but I'm just going to say neurodivergent people don't have to mask. So, do you know what I mean?
Sorry, what was that, Yasmin?
As you get older, as an adult, you can, because I've seen this in autistic adults, you can become self-aware, because when I was working at 111, I had a manager and I've become really good friends with him. And it wasn't for about 6 months before he actually told me he had autism. And I said to him, you wouldn't even know, like looking at my children and stuff like that. I said, you know, that gives me a bit of hope. And he said, you have to become self-aware and learn what's normal, and that's your mask at the end of the day. So that's him when he's at work. So he can learn to be like it, but that doesn't mean that's actually him. And I see that a lot in my son. he'll be completely different at school to what he is at home because he doesn't want to be looked at as different.
Yeah, but as well in that, there's a lot of children with autism that go to school all day and they're suppressing their emotions, and then so when they get home, they release all their emotions, and it's the parents that get it, sort of thing. Do you understand?
They release their emotions where they're safe.
Yeah.
I've got another question, because this might be sounds really stupid, but with ADHD autism, can you have allergies? Because my friend's son has autism, and she said to me allergies and autism go hand in hand, and I didn't read about it, and he's allergic to everything, pretty much everything he's allergic to, and they have to be really careful when they go out.
A lot of people believe it is a gut issue. I personally, well, as a baby, he was lactose intolerant, but they apparently it's what people say. There's research to say it's a gut issue, but I don't believe that. But
I do, though. I do believe it is a gut issue, just because my son really does struggle in that department. But yeah, I think, yeah.
My son did when he was younger, but as he's got older, it's been fine, and he doesn't have any allergies or anything. He's, doesn't even have hay fever.
Because my friend's son is really bad with allergies, and when they can't even go out because of his allergies. He's allergic to everything, pretty much.
My son hasn't got any allergies, so I do find that he has
I just want to say, all you mamas,
sadly.
All you mamas, by the sound of it, well done to you all. You know, you don't praise yourself enough. It's not easy.
My mum said
you need to be told well done more.
Yeah, my mum said to me, because when I had William, I gave up work. I had to give up work because I had to be his carer, and you do what you do as a parent, but after trying to get a special school for him, it took me 2.5 years, and I never cried so much to the local authority and other professionals.
Is that paid for? Yes, a special needs school.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's part of his ECHP plan. But I mean, his mainstream school were very good in the end because they helped me. You have to fight. If you get denied, you appeal, because you are, as B said, you're your kid's voice. You have to fight for your kids, and it is the hardest job ever. It really is. And my mum kept on saying, I felt helpless some days, and my mum was like, Naomi, you were doing, we need to hear that we're doing the right thing, because it is so hard. You keep getting, rejected all the time, and it's disgusting. If your son needs that special school, you fight for it until you get it. Appeal.
And mainstream is very tough as well. It's like primary school. My child grew up being told, he's just a naughty child, It wasn't until year 5 and 6 where they actually started taking it seriously, but by that time it's too late. So he went to secondary school, and now he's in year 10 and literally on a 1 lesson a day timetable until they can build it up, because they couldn't deal with him, and trying to get into a different school and at the same time having him accept that is very difficult.
Can I ask you a question?
Can I just speak a moment, please?
Can I just ask this one really question too, because I've got this brain fog, I'm going to forget. Can I ask you a question, Yasmin? I mean, what causes autism? Is it like kind of from the parents? Is it genetics?
Yeah, it's genetics.
Is it genetics, or can there be other factors?
It tends to be more genetic, I think.
My uncle's autistic, my brother's autistic, and I've got schizophrenia in my family too. So yeah, it can be genetic.
I mean, someone has put always genetic. Is that the case, or can it be other factors?
I disagree with it always being genetic, and I think it's got a lot to do with. I think the reason why my daughter's autistic is because I think it's got something to do with the MMR jab. And I also think she went into hospital at the age of, she was developing really well, and then at the age of 10 months she went into hospital. She had sepsis, and she had to go on a drip for like 2 weeks. And when she came out, everything started declining in her development and how she was like developing type of thing, if you understand me. And I think it's linked to that, because there's absolutely nobody, unless I've got it, you do question yourself, but there's absolutely nobody in the family that's been anybody that's had autism. So I mean, I know they said that they did some research and said that the MMR jab was nothing to do with it, but I still stand by. I think if she hadn't had that jab, I don't think she'd be struggling today.
With the conversation,
Angie, I'm 53 years old. I was born back in the 70s. I went into care. I'm ADHD, autistic. I went into care back in the 80s due to this, because there was no such thing as autism, ADHD like there is now. I went from children's homes, being placed because I was naughty and whatever. I went from children's home to children's home. Then I ended up, they were locking me in secure units at the age of 12 and 13 because no one could handle me. It was not, I think autism really needs to be looked at, and people, the way they treat it, there's all different levels of autism, all different. We are all different. No one is the same. You can't class people the same in that way. And as the man said, I'm 52, nearly 53, sorry, just turned in June. I have support workers still now at this age. You'll see I've got videos posted from my support workers stating all what I have, all what's wrong with me, because I've been on this app and been criticised, had everything said to me, made me feel so low that I'd lost 3 stone in weight. I wouldn't come on the app for 8 months to do it. It is absolutely vile. I just wanted to come up and stay, just to say, please, everyone, autism is different, we're all different.
Yeah,
Did someone just say you can get autism from jabs?
No, that's not true.
No, they said that.
Because I'm reading the comments. Sorry, I wasn't like present. I was just reading the comments. That is not true. I just want to
MMR.
No, hang on a minute. I said I believe that's the reason why my daughter's autistic is through an MMR jab. I didn't say you can get jab. I didn't say you could get autism through MMR, but that's my opinion, and that's what I think.
Okay, but if they would, can I just put this from a different point of view? Majority of children on autism are on DLA, get extra, like...
Can I just stop everybody? Someone's put that, Angie, that's dangerous. Sorry, I've just had to pop out, so I haven't heard. What's happened?
Well, someone just said you can get jabs from autism.
Jabs?
I mean, you can get autism from jabs.
No, I don't have it. She didn't say it like that. It's the way she worked.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't actually hear, but I just think, I'll just keep my opinion to myself on that.
From her personal experience, she believes that her daughter became autistic due to a jab that she had. She didn't say all children get autism from having the MMR jab.
Yeah, guys, it's important, you know.
Can I just say
that? We don't want to be putting out misinformation, guys. Maybe that's you, how you feel, but I just don't think you should be putting it on social media because we don't know.
And can I also just say, if a child's got autism, majority of the time they've got DLA, which is coming from the government. If that was the case, do you not think they would have stopped them jabs? Because they're losing money.
And to be fair, if it was a few years ago,
that is so bad.
Stuff around it to try and put something on why my kids have neurotypical.
Yes, James, you're right. There's a lot of misinformation coming out.
Yeah, guys, let's not put out any misinformation as to what you think.
I do apologise, actually. It was just my personal opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. That's how you feel. You don't have to be sorry.
Thank you.
Jasmine, can I ask you a question?
Can I just say, if that's how you feel, I don't feel it should be put out on social media because people do.
Well, I'm allowed to, though, because my daughter's autistic, so that's my personal...
Yeah, Sarah Jane, I understand that. Sorry, can I just mute you for 1 second? I understand that, but it could come across as misinformation, right? Because other people might think that is the case, and they might think that is true, and they might not be doing the vaccinations, which is vital. Do you understand? But I just think you don't know 100%, unless it's in black and white, and that's the case as to why, with the ADHD, I don't think you should be putting that out there.
Can we go? Thank you for the gift. Can we go back to the dietitian and side of autism? So my foster father and mother basically became a celiac, which is autistic, wheat intolerant. And they had proven scientifically that when they give wheat to my brother, his behaviour starts to spiral out of control.
Rishi, baby, I'm glad you said that, because my friend, her son is also celiac. Is it celiac?
Yeah.
Delaria.
Yeah. And there is a link there.
So they actually gave him all of like non-wheat. Not Coke as well. Coca-Cola is a big no because it's a dyed.
And high in sugar.
Yeah.
Angie, I'm going to drop. I'm just going to say thank you for letting me up. Thank you very much, Angie.
Yeah, I'm going to drop. Sorry, I'm going to drop down too, Ange, because I've got to get daughter from school. Thanks so much for letting me join. Thanks for
Bye. Yeah, Yasmin, my question was, do you feel that it's harder for someone to get a place at a SEND school because of whether, like, it could be their catchment area or
yeah, I'll pass you on to Chris. The guy's Chris.
You're right. So I think it's that. Plus, it's the school needs to know enough about your child as well. So they need them to be at school to be able to put them through. So with my child, it was more they want it to get accepted. You get one shot at it. So they want him to get accepted. Right now, he's at a place where he would get accepted, but he's in denial still and doesn't want to go. He wants to stay at a mainstream school, but at the same time, it's difficult getting him there because of all the issues he has around it. So he, out of no fault of his own, will get into a bad sleeping pattern. We get it back into a good sleeping pattern, but then before you know it, he's up till 5 o'clock in the morning. So then they tried to combat that by saying, okay, you can come in and do 11 o'clock for one lesson Monday to Friday. So they tried to get a routine around that, but it just I don't know, it's just very difficult. But
can I give you my experience, if that's all right, with my little boy, because he's just started in September, so I can give you kind of more of an accurate so when you get an EHCP, you tend to get someone who is a coordinator for the educational healthcare plan, which my little boy has got. When talking about schools and stuff, I was adamant he would start in a special school, because I didn't think he would cope at all in a mainstream school. When I was speaking to her, she said it's literally trial and error. They just want to make sure that he can't cope in a mainstream school, so then he can then go on to the special school. And do you know what I mean? But this being said, my little boy is not out of nappies. He's completely non-verbal. He's just started a mainstream school with his elder sister. He gets in a taxi on his own and he's doing so well. So it is completely, do you know what I mean? Every child is different. That's literally it.
I hear from some other people in the boxes. Sorry, Amy C, are you there?
Hi.
Hiya.
So I've got a sister who's got Asperger's. I mean, she's like 19 now. She got diagnosed very young.
Can I just ask you a quick question? What's the difference? I mean, I know it's
part of autism. It's on the spectrum. It's a form of autism. There's so many different ranges, so many different parts of the spectrum. So like for her, she's very hyperactive, she's very fixated on like routines. She had problems like she wouldn't shave. It was just, I don't know why, she just physically couldn't shave. She had to watch the same film over and over again, read the same book. And she's always been like that. And obviously there were certain triggers, like if you messed up her routine, like if she had to shower at a different time, she would have a complete meltdown about it. Everyone's very different. Obviously all children and even adults do react differently. I've got a son who's not been diagnosed, but we do think he is autistic, and the nursery are putting in referrals to get him support till he's old enough to actually get tested. But yeah, I'll just would come up to say that everyone's different. Everyone.
Yeah, has anyone heard of dyspraxia? My son's got dyspraxia, but it's very rare you hear of it. And it's
there is a man on here. I used to be friends with him. Well, I say friends with him. I don't know where he is, but he has that.
Yeah, so like my son's the type that he'll do his buttons in his shirt. You know, he's in year 7 and he can't do simple tasks. And it's more of the physical stuff. You know, he's only just learned how to ride a bike, where my girls learned how to ride a bike with 2 wheels at the age of like 2, 3. You know, so it's more the physical stuff. But I've never really heard anyone, you know, speak about dyspraxia. So I'd love to hear.
What is dyspraxia? I've heard of it, but I don't know the actual.
Yeah, it's clumsy.
And I was like,
It's got some of the same traits as autism.
Yeah, they did say it's quite similar.
So there's a lot of traits. It's like the iceberg of ADHD. What you see and what you actually get. Are
Can I just also say that, sorry, but can I just say, look, autistic children are very, very, very intelligent on the subject that they absolutely love.
Coordination, spot on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, my brother can hear an aeroplane in the sky and he can tell the difference between a Spitfire and a Hurricane, and it is just absolutely amazing.
Sorry, guys, can I just let Amy continue? Sorry, Amy.
No, it's all right. Yeah, no, so I agree. Like I said, autistic children are very intelligent. Like I said, my sister, she can speak Chinese fluently. She can speak Spanish fluently. And she's been able to do that since the age of 10. No one knows how. She seems to have taught herself it. But like I said, they are very intelligent in certain subjects or certain aspects, like I said, what they enjoy. And like I said, my son, like I say, he's not diagnosed yet, but he does show signs, and like he does get very emotional. He can't regulate his emotions. He can't talk properly either, and things like that. And there's different techniques of what can help calm children down, but it's different every time. Like sometimes if I give my son a cuddle, it'll calm him down, but then the next day it won't work. Sometimes I've brought him a sensory tent and he'll just go in there and hide in there with his tablet, and sometimes that works. But every child's different, and it's not, I think it's just a bit unfair that there are some people out there, unfortunately, that do judge children. They see a naughty child or a child acting out, thinking, oh, you're a bad parent because you're not disciplining your child properly. But there are some people don't then see that actually perhaps that there is more to it, and that that child perhaps is autistic, or that child can't regulate their emotions or doesn't understand fully. And I just think it's not fair on us mums or us parents getting judged for our parenting when sometimes we are just doing our best and trying to do everything we can for our children.
Yeah. And going back to the food, am I right in saying that a lot of autistic children, they tend to eat the same foods, and that's classed as their safe food?
Yeah.
Safe, they have safe words and things like that. Am I right in saying
My
that?
son's like that. So he went through a stage of just rice and hot dogs for about 3 months, and then all of a sudden he hates that food, and it goes on to the next one, which was plain pasta, no pasta with cheese, no sauce, nothing, just plain pasta, and then that was his food of choice. And then it's a repeating cycle. So now he's at rice and chicken, you know.
And
so
they're always hungry as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they like to explore different tastes. I've noticed with my brother, like he'll go to the fridge and eat a half a lemon.
Guys, can I just hear from Ebs? Ebs, are you here? I don't know if you've had. Hiya.
Hello, right. I've been waiting for someone to do a live like this for ages, because I don't know about other people, but I feel like I'm on my own with it all. And you kind of like, I'm still learning. I have 3 children, but my son has the ADHD and autism, and every day is still a learning day. He's 10 now. And this year, going back to school, he's really been struggling. And I don't know, I just wanted to ask people with children like it, do people tick with ADHD and autism? Does anyone else's child do that?
Yeah, my son ticks. He ticks his arms out.
Yeah.
My
son has a lot of stimming, so stims a lot.
Yeah.
But you know, it does get a bit better, and there are a lot of support groups out there. There's not as many as there should be, but they are out there if you just look into it. I had a lot of help from the school, so I'm in one that also does days out for children with autism, and they do a lot of emails daily, which give a lot of good advice as well.
Yeah, so I have a partner, but my partner has ADHD and autism, and he was handling it really well, but I found the more it's come out in my son, the more it's coming out in him.
Yeah, that's the hardest part of ADHD, to be fair. Like, I went through my life pretty much misunderstood. No one really knew why, and I didn't know I wasn't normal until I was a lot older. And then I found out I was actually diagnosed as a child, but then they said I'd grow out of it, and my parents never said anything. It wasn't until a couple of years ago that I went to my doctor and they said you was diagnosed as a child, but back then it was just a lot different. There is a lot more awareness on it now. Since then, I've been able to think of how I felt as a child and really put that onto my own children and make sure they don't feel the same or unheard or feel different, you know.
Sorry, so someone has asked me in the comments, what does stimming, and I've got it here, I've just Googled it, stimming. So it's stimming or self-stimulating behaviour, including arm or hand flapping, finger flicking, rocking, jumping, spinning or twirling, head banging, and complex body movements. It includes a repetitive use of an object, such as flicking a rubber band or twirling a piece of string, or repetitive activities involving the senses, such as repeating a particular texture.
See, my boy rolls his head and he rolls his eyes right back.
My brother did that, Abs, and honestly, it's a sensory feeling for them. They love it because it's like, you know, when we tip our head back and our eyes close, it's like a tickling feeling.
Yeah.
My brother loved that, and he used to giggle his head off when he used to do that.
Yeah, so I don't think.
You know, you said you feel alone with what you're going through. I just wonder if. You know, you should follow people that, if you follow each other, and maybe can even, I don't know if you're happy to give your phone number, like a group WhatsApp or some kind of a Snapchat or a Facebook.
You're not allowed to support groups as well. Maybe there's support groups out there.
Yeah, support groups also.
There are a lot of support groups.
I do have a lot of support. I have a support worker that helps me with it. Richard's Else is really good. His Senko's really good.
But you know what, Abs, the good thing about TikTok is you can talk to
that's the thing, yeah.
Nadia on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it's easy to listen to it from like a professional side, like the Senkos or the Elsas and everything, but it's different with someone else going through it.
Also, with stimming, my daughter obviously has ADHD, so I thought she was stimming. But if it's continuous, always get it checked out just in case there's some underlying condition.
I got doctors for him on Tuesday because it was constant on Saturday, and I started to like really panic. I'm like, this isn't.
It also can be a stress thing if they're doing it overly.
Yeah, that's what
I didn't think anything of it. I just thought my daughter was stimming, but it actually turned out she had sunflower syndrome, which is a form of epilepsy, and that was following a seizure she had a year previous to that, where it went on for like 90 minutes in the hospital. You know, it took a lot to bring her around. We actually did lose her for a little bit, but they brought her back. So, you know, definitely just get stuff like that checked out.
He did it once he led on the floor and he kind of arched his back and his eyes were rolling. That's when I first noticed it, and I was like, oh my God, is he having a seizure or something? And I said, are you okay? And he said, yeah. Like nothing was even happening. And it scared the living daylights out of me.
Everyone, go run. Thank you. Bye.
Can I hear from Janet? Hi, Janet.
Hi, everyone. My son, Jonathan, he's 34 now. He has severe ADHD. And back in his days growing up, getting him diagnosed was so hard. He struggled with school when he first started. Really struggled. I struggled all the way through, actually, but until he got diagnosed and got the proper settings in school, it was a real struggle. And he struggled all of his life so far. I mean, doing everyday things. He has really, really high anxiety. He takes medication for his anxiety. He holds a full-time job now. He's a manager of Sephora. But I mean, he's worked so hard all of his life. He still works at it. And the main thing I can tell you that works for him is green. It's legal here in Canada. And my nephew also has ADHD, and the two of them find that is the one thing that helps them through their daily life, being able to cope with things, being able to handle things. I just wanted to put that out there. It does work. It's too bad that some people don't know the medical side of it, but it really does work for them. And he's been to child development doctors and everything over the years, but it's a real struggle for anybody that has ADHD. I mean, to look at him, you'd never know there's anything wrong with him. But like I said, it's a struggle. It's a real struggle. And to all you ladies and gentlemen that have children and who struggle with it yourself, I admire you so much, because it's hard as a parent. It's hard hearing that there's something wrong with your child and having to cope with it and not knowing, and then having to try to learn about it and try to make everybody else around you learn about it. It's not easy, and it's really, really hard.
Yeah, following on from what Janet said, I just want to say you guys are amazing, and, you know, give yourself credit, because, yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question? Is there any complications? Because I've just been looking up on here. You know how I love Google. Has anyone experienced complications due to autism?
I get it with my son now.
No, I have read about seizures and other various complications due to autism.
My son gets anxious now because he's 19. He's a lot older. He's got anxiety with it now. And what happens to him is, the doctors explained, it's like his body, it's like a car exhaust. It misfires and he gets random swellings. And I mean, these swellings could be huge. But what we have to keep an eye on, that it's not in his throat. Or something that can obstruct his airways. But we could be getting outside and he'll become anxious. Airways. He will start swelling and he'll end up with like massive lumps. And then we have to get his medication to get the lumps down and get him back home and into a safe place for him to calm down. But as I say, it becomes dangerous because he could swell in his throat, which could close off his airways, and they reckon that's through his autism.
Yeah. So, you know, there's no known cause for autism, right?
No.
So if you were to do a brain scan, you can't diagnose autism that way, no? It would just come up as normal. Is that the case?
May I ask something? I read one time, now this is years ago, I don't know if it's true or not, I don't know if anybody can answer this. Is there certain parts of the world where there's no such thing as autism? Because I read it one time that there was, and I'm just really curious about it. Like certain countries just don't have any cases of it. Or is that not true? Does anybody know?
They probably do, but they just haven't diagnosed it in that country.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
But I've never heard of it not being in a particular country. I've never heard that.
Well, no, I mean, I know it's only a TV and, but look at EastEnders with George's brother. He's come from, can't remember where
it's not acknowledged. That's the right word. It's not acknowledged.
Can't remember where he's from now, but he's autistic. So, yeah, I'd say that it is very known in different countries as well, yeah.
Guys, can I ask you one more question? I'm sorry, go for all the questions. I've got this brain fog, honestly. I can't remember if I asked this question. I must have. But what's the difference between ADHD and autism?
Now, that's a good question.
I think they mirror each other, actually.
Wait, hi, my name is Eva. I just want to say I have ADHD, but the difference with ADHD and autism, so they're both on the spectrum. So there's like, if you imagine like a long line, there's ADHD, autism, and also bipolar. All three of those mental health issues have more or less, like the same symptoms, just slightly different. Some are more on like one extreme to the other. I have ADHD, but the difference with me to autism is basically it's just less on an extreme, and in terms of like emotions and things, someone who is autistic would feel an emotion a lot more than I would, but it is very hard to explain. Like the details in it are like it is different, but we have the same sort of things but different. So I won't necessarily need to, like, I guess, stim as much, or like as someone who is autistic, I might not necessarily be focused on one thing and have excel in that one thing as much as someone who is autistic. And, and then there's people with bipolar don't have those things usually really at all. Well, there is one similarity is that usually everyone with ADHD, autism and bipolar are usually very creative. We usually, along technology, maths, or art, music, we usually do tend to excel in one of those things.
Sorry, Eva, can I just ask you one question? How old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay, you just sound young, that's all.
Really? I get told I look a lot older than I am.
A lot of people are saying in the comments that they disagree. A lot of people are saying, I don't know if somebody wants to jump in the box, because a lot of people are saying it's not true.
Okay, yeah, no, go ahead. Again, just my own opinion. I am diagnosed. I'm also on medication for ADHD. It's methadone or something like that. And it does work, although I know that there's a lot of people who suffer with ADHD and find that medication doesn't help.
Yeah.
And can actually make things worse.
Yeah, a lot of people in the comments, unfortunately, are disagreeing with you.
Okay, I'll go ahead.
Say if you have ADHD or autism and you're pregnant, would you kind of be a little bit fearful of your child having that as well? Has anyone felt a little bit, oh, my son might have autism and ADHD because I have it? No.
I did, because my son's birth dad, he's got ADHD and some other issues. So obviously I do worry that if he's going to end up getting diagnosed with ADHD, and like I said, autism does run in my family as well. I'm also on the waiting list to get tested for autism. And also my sister's got Asperger's. So I think, obviously, for me, when I was pregnant with him, it was obviously that worry of, well, not so much a worry, because in the day, if he's autistic, he's autistic. It doesn't change my love for him or anything like that. Obviously, it did cross my mind, is that something that he's going to have?
Angie, thank you for letting me up. I need to go now, but I really appreciate you all, so thank you. Can you kick me out, please? I don't know how to get out.
I followed you, and obviously, anytime you feel like.
Sorry, can we ask about medication? Whoever
You're more than welcome.
Sorry, the person you're right. The person who just spoke about medication. Obviously, I want the medication, but I'm terrified it's going to change who I am completely. Has anyone who got ADHD been on the medication, and what's that done to their life?
I was going to say, careful with having your camera on, because you could get bananaed.
Yeah, that was me, sorry.
I was going to say, personally, with me being on medication, it's I would say there was a slight personality change in terms of you might not feel things as deeply, but I'm able to do a task, complete it. I'm able to do something one at a time. My brain's a lot more quiet. I'm just, in terms of routine and organization, it helps a lot with that. But then emotion wise as well, it does help with blocking emotions get to you, stopping your emotions from making a decision in situations.
Two things about it. Is it stop the voice in your head? Completely, the one that's just over and over and over. And did you have any
side effects?
No, more of a change towards how you felt about your partner?
So I'm currently single, so I can't answer the partner one. But the other one, the voice in the head, no, that hasn't completely gone. In terms of that own little voice that guide you. Well, I still talk to myself all the time, out loud and in my head. I still have that annoying thing, telling you, but it is a lot quieter. That's all I can say. And I guess it also depends on what medication you get put on and things because I had one before that it was actually making me sick. So I came off of that, and some medications have certain drugs in that others don't.
A lot of people are saying, "What's the voice? What voice do you hear?" Because I think they think you're
I'm not schizo, no.
It's not like, it's nothing like you know, I guess, you know, it's not like it's you know, your conscience, it's like your conscience, but it's really in there, and it's a constant cross between things. It's telling you to do like 100 things at once. It's telling you to, and I can't even start to list, like it will genuinely 100 things at once you can't control. And then especially if you're at work or something, or you have someone talking to you at the same time, but you're already thinking about 5 other things that you need to do that you can't take your mind off. Now you need to understand what they're saying. It's that voice, and that's like the only way I can explain it, is the busy voice.
Yeah, I just want to say to everyone in the comments, you know, they're saying, oh, well, that's not ADHD. It is, if you look into it, that, you know, it's not someone else's voice or, you know, schizophrenic, which is what a lot of people think it is.
Yeah, it's like all your intrusive thoughts, you talking to someone and you've already finished their side of the conversation before they have. You know what they're going to say. You can really calculate a lot, and you can run over a lot of scenarios in your head, and you just think it out loud in your head. It's quite odd. But at the same time, it's you know, it's kind of a superpower, but it's just annoying. But yeah, I'm hoping because a lot.
I was just going to say, I've had a lot of people say like, oh, like finding out there's something wrong with your child when you find out they have like ADHD or something, and I would just like completely disagree. Like I am like proud almost to have it. Like I've used it to my ability. I've gone down a route where I can let my ADHD shine. It's just, you know, I'd never say it's something wrong. It's
Can
not.
I ask you something? God, please don't take it the wrong way. How can we be proud of having a condition like ADHD or autism?
Because even though it does affect what I guess, like in quotes, normal people or like non-neurodivergent people would, you know, do this thing. The world is built for people who aren't like us, people who don't suffer with mental health issues. So in that aspect, it is hard. But you surround yourself with the right people, you do things that make you happy, and I guess you just got to kind of learn to just not care about others. And I can be proud of it. Like the positive things with like I find personally with my ADHD, hyper focus is a big one. So where you get stuck on one thing and you almost can't come out. Now that can sometimes be bad, but in terms of doing tasks and things.
Someone just asked me why Angie was doing so well until that comment. Listen, you know, this is not a debate or discussion about, you know, a wrong question or anything like that. So I'm just going to say what I'm thinking. And I'm just, you know, because it's a medical condition. When you think of the complications, and I don't want to scare anyone, but when you think of the complications all autism can cause, and you've got people that suffer with seizures, you know, there's different forms of autism. And I'm sure if people was to choose, they would choose not to have autism. But
yeah, no, I'm only speaking about ADHD because autism can be like very severe, like you've just said. ADHD, it can reach levels, but never, as far as I'm aware, never as severe as what autism can. ADHD, it kind of stays in its own segment, but no, I think it has. Also, ADHD is a good, like, usually people with ADHD have a good personality as well, like, and there are just other little things. Of course, there are negatives to it, but yeah, I would say I'm proud to have it, and also even if I wasn't proud of it, it's something that we have for life. We can't change it, so there's no point not being happy. It's kind of just you get to know yourself, and you make sure that other people around you know you.
Yeah, guys, there's no wrong question, you know.
Can I just ask Eva, how did she find school? Did she find they were supportive and that?
School was awful. So I got diagnosed when I was 17, and I'm not going to get into details, but that was only after I ended up in hospital a few times. That then the hospital actually sent me straight to, luckily, a psychiatrist. But this is the thing, and I know there's a lot of people on here, and a lot of people aren't able to go and get the help. Like I know that right now as well, especially in England, getting a diagnosis for anything right now is like impossible, let alone getting on medication and
Can I ask you
everything.
guys a question? I mean, were you diagnosed many times with other things before you're diagnosed with ADHD or autism? Because I know that it's sometimes misdiagnosed. That's correct, right?
I was straight away diagnosed with ADHD and nothing else. But I was just going to say, through school was awful. Teachers didn't understand. I was the kid. For a lot of school, I had my own desk in the corridor where I'd sit outside of class doing work, which is no help for a student who's trying to learn.
Horrible.
That was just due down to not being able to stop talking, moving, not being able to answer a question because I didn't hear it or I wasn't listening. And like, no matter how hard I tried, and I wouldn't understand why teachers were getting angry at me, because as far as I was concerned, I wasn't doing anything wrong. But it was tough.
I've got another question. I'm so sorry. Are you always born with autism or ADHD, or can you develop it? Or was it always something?
I think you're born with it.
Of birth? So you are born with it. You don't just.
I was born with it too. I got it from both my parents are diagnosed with ADHD.
I just want to say, Angie, never be sorry for asking a question. We're all learning together.
Yeah, well,
I've learned a lot. I've honestly, myself, I've learned a lot today from this live.
My son is 27. And when he was at school, we didn't know we were autistic at the time. They just classed him as a naughty child, and they classed him as dyslexic. And we never got to the point that he was autistic. So I just thought, as a parent, he was a naughty child, and he had difficulty playing with other children and making friends. But as time went on, he started barricading himself in his bedroom, didn't want to go to school, couldn't do his lessons, and nobody seemed to know what was wrong with him. And at the time I was going through a divorce as well, so I thought it was a lot of emotional things that were going on, and felt quite bad about it. And it's only until he got to 21 and I pushed for an autism assessment, because he got bullied at work, and because he didn't fit in. And it's now got to the point where he can't work, he doesn't go out of the house, he just likes to make music, he won't take any medication. He just
medication, Nick. Can you just carry on with no medication for it?
You can, yeah.
It doesn't get worse or anything like that?
No. I mean, my son, he does have a private prescription for, as Janet was saying, for the green, and he uses that to with the on a legal prescription, but it's quite expensive. But it's the only sort of thing that sort of keeps him a little bit level. He can't cook. He struggles to think about all the appliances that he needs, what temperature things are going to be on, what ingredients, will he burn it, timers for things. Even microwaving's a problem. It's just, you don't realise day-to-day things, how it consumes, some of the things that you just take for granted every day. And he has ADHD in hand with his autism. It comes hand in hand for him. But yeah, it's quite difficult for him. It's quite, he sweats a lot. He gets very anxious. He's a worrier. He has tummy problems. He's just, it's difficult. It's difficult as a parent, because in men and boys, it's higher rate of harming yourself. So we have like a setup of where he can call me if he's feeling, in that particular zone, and I sort of have to distract him and talk him through it, and put some music on, go get a shower, ring me back. Once you've done that, then do this, then ring me back, and it's like that. But as a parent trying to do normal day-to-day things, holding down a full-time job, it's emotionally draining for parents. It's very, very difficult. I mean, I've only got the one child, but I can imagine for families that have got more than one child, it's an extreme challenge for them. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
When I was at school, obviously it's a bit different than the 20-year-old, because I'm 38, so different times, innit? But I learned from a very young age in primary school that if I did SH, which was to me at the time, I figured out if I punched myself in the nose, then obviously stuff would come out and then I'd get sent home. I did that up until about year 7 or 8, and then it was around that time I would just go home, you know, because I hated school. I was very anxious at school. I would hyper focus on one friend, and then, you know, if you do that, obviously they're going to get sick of you or want to play with someone else, and then you have no one. So I got to a point where I would just go home, and then I left school when I was 14. I went into full-time work with my dad, and it wasn't until I was 17 and I started to learn different things. I actually went to college and did a 2-year course and completed it because that's something I really wanted to do. I hope focused on that instead.
I mean, one thing I will say is quite cruel of other people that are not autistic is my son got taken advantage of. He thought that by having friends, you had to buy them. So he's had money stolen, his phone, he's tried to go out on nights out with people that he thought were his friends. He's paid for them. He's done all sorts, and you just can't continue to live a life like that. So at the moment, he don't really have any friends. He's got online friends. He's but he's never met them. He's never spoke to them. He just talks to them like we do, I suppose, through TikTok. And again, we've talked about this before as a group on a live, Angie, about trust and taking people for face value, you know, and are they genuine, and you can be surprised how people can just be two-faced or do something that you don't expect them to do. But yeah, it's sad when it's your child or it's your adult child and they're getting hurt a lot. You know, it's heartbreaking.
Sorry, guys. I don't know if they know they're in the box. What about natural medication for ADHD or what was the other one? Autism. Has anyone tried that?
No, I can only comment on the green side of things, but not anything on prescription as such, which is sort of...
I was also going to say the same thing. Green.
You can't get that on the on prescription, though, can you?
You can get it on a private prescription, Angie, but not just going to your doctors and just asking him to prescribe it.
Yeah.
And the prescriptions are extremely expensive because they're private. So I think my son's is about £900 a month. It's a lot of money.
Wow. That is a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, I have to support him with it. It's difficult. But he won't take anything that's synthetic because he don't want to get addicted and he don't want to, it messing with the chemicals in his brain and all sorts of stuff, He overthinks. That's part of his condition. He focuses on a subject and he can research it and he can tell you absolutely everything about it. He's very, very intelligent in that respect, but day-to-day common sense, things like that, he struggles.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Does anyone have anything else to add? No? Oh.
I just want to say, Angie, well done. This has been a really, really good live. I've learned a lot. I have learned so much.
Yeah, me too. Sorry for all the questions, guys. I'm a very inquisitive person.
Never be sorry to ask a question. We're all learning together.
There's never a dumb question.
No,
that's what I would say. There's never ever a dumb question.
It's more popular than what you think. There's a lot of people out there that...
Yeah, it's very common, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very.
Yeah. And you're never too old to learn something new.
No, that's right, Nadia. Yeah, you're right.
I think teachers at school should be trained more in it because I think I researched it when I found out my Brandon had ADHD, and I was constantly just headbutting with the schools all the time. It was a nightmare. They just took it that he was the naughty kid, and they just picked on him.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Can I ask you a question? What advice would you give someone that's not coping with a child with ADHD or autism?
That they're not alone and that there's always someone there that they can talk to if they feel like they're struggling.
Is there any numbers people can call?
There's the Autistic Society online. They're quite helpful. and there'll be some local groups that you can go to go grab a coffee with them and have a chat. A bit like this group that we're doing now, just people who've got autistic children can share experiences and just let off a bit of...
What if someone's severely struggling though? Would it be just the same numbers?
Probably reach out to their GP or...
Yeah, or maybe the crisis team or something.
I do think kids are born to parents that can cope with it though, do you know what I mean? Like, loads of people couldn't cope with my Brandon, but like, I love him to bits. I thought his personality was brilliant, do you know what I mean?
Quite quirky, aren't they?
Yeah, like, just amazing. He used to make me laugh every single day.
I mean, my son once came down, I remember when he was 5-year-old, and it was one Christmas, and he came downstairs in a cowboy hat and a check shirt and his jeans, and he was singing Shania Twain, Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Do you know what?
That's what I mean. Just the random stuff they do.
He didn't have a clue what he was singing or what he was doing, but he just, very entertaining. Yeah.
Very entertaining.
Let's hear from this last person. Hi, Jade.
Hi, Angie. Hi, everyone. I'm really sorry. You're going to have to bear with me. I'm super nervous.
Don't be nervous. You're all right in here.
So my son, he doesn't have autism or ADHD, but he does have a neurological migration disorder called lissencephaly. I don't know if anyone's heard of it.
No.
So it basically means he has a completely smooth brain. So, you know, like I hate the word, I really hate the word, and I'm sorry, but you know, like with a normal brain, it has ridges. His is completely smooth.
Right.
So he won't be able to think for himself. Like, his brain doesn't work, basically. So he's severely disabled. Oh, sorry. And I know it's not a very common condition over here.
Is that a form of autism?
No, it's that's why I felt quite bad coming up, because everyone was talking about autism and I didn't want to change it from that.
Oh, that's okay.
It's I mean, he will have some of the characteristics of autism, if that makes sense. But as it stands, like his brain does not work at all.
Right. So he's a 24-hour kid, is he?
He is, yeah, but he's my little warrior. But he's not, he won't be able to sit up, he won't be able to talk, walk, anything like that. And we didn't find out until he was 5 months old, and he's now 15 months old.
Yeah.
So he's still very young, so the hardest part is yet to come. And
Are you a single mother, can I ask, or?
I'm not. No, I am due to be married. So I'm not on my own, but the partner works full time, so I kind of am on my own, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No.
Well, you're always welcome in here.
Do you have that fear of what's going to come?
I'm extremely terrified because, unfortunately, with this condition, it is life-limiting.
Life-limiting. Right.
Yeah, so he's not, he can, but if there's a chance he might not have a long life. Sorry.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that.
But the reason I come in here is because I heard all of you lovely people like supporting each other. And I said in the comments that I feel very alone.
Yeah.
With it.
Yeah, I mean, you can come in here, you know, anytime. And you know what I said before? I think you should all follow each other so you can, you know, I know that it's different to what other people have, you know, with their children. But I think it would be amazing if you, you know, if someone created a WhatsApp group for people to speak to. I know there are support groups out there, so if you know, Snapchat or even a Facebook. I know there are support groups out there, but it's not as intimate. Does that make sense?
Sometimes people want to change of like, the familiar faces and that they see.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering.
Can I just say you are absolutely incredible for holding this live. Thank you.
Oh, no,
Jade,
you
I've
are.
sent you a follow, so if you ever feel alone, you're always welcome to send me a
We'll
message.
follow each other, and hopefully
Night or
someone
day.
can create a Snapchat group or a group that you can all kind of chat in there, you know, and talk about your experiences and your struggles, kind of all of that. So you're not alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jade,
Can I just say, sorry, can I just say my son Brandon was unalive 3 years ago in a car crash, so I just come on to talk about his ADHD and his school thing, but if anyone wants to ask me any questions or follow me and message me or whatever, yeah.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Sorry to hear that.
Can I ask you, Jade, how's your husband dealing with this? Sorry, is it fiance?
Yeah, my fiance. He's very much. Oh, this sounds really bad, but you know, they're manly men who are like, they hide everything. They don't let anything out. He's very much like that. So obviously it hit him hard. He's struggling to deal with it, but he's trying to brush it under the carpet, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but you know what? You've got your baby's only 15 months old. So it's only, take each day as it comes. I mean, tomorrow he's only 15 months, and that's what I would do. There's no point worrying what you don't know.
Yeah.
There's no point worrying about the future. Think of now, isn't it?
Jade, also let him know that his mental health matters too, and that he should reach out to men's support groups to help him deal with it. Because, should the inevitable come, it's going to hit him more. And if he has the support now, he'll be able to maybe manage it a lot better with the support in hand.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. He's just a bit stubborn with it at the minute.
Yeah, there's no point thinking of the future because your baby is 15 months old. Enjoy today. You don't know what's gonna happen, how things are gonna be planned out. Do you know what I mean? You don't know the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And just remember,
one day at a time, innit?
Yeah, that is what everyone says, to take it one day at a time.
Exactly, and enjoy the present.
Yeah.
Because you know what, we've learned about loads of different topics today, and it's opened my eyes to more studying more on these things that I'm not aware of. Because what Jade's just mentioned, I've never heard of. So we've all learned
until we find out.
Yeah. Did you find out recently?
So we found out in November last year, and that was through an MRI.
Right.
So they originally diagnosed him with epilepsy because he was having seizures. But I pushed for it. Sorry?
Is it a rare condition?
It's 1 in a million children.
Wow.
So it is very rare.
Yeah. Is there a lot of research on it?
There is research on it, but our neurological doctor, sorry, I don't know the word. Our neuro doctor, anyway, she told us not to Google it when we first found out, because Google tells you.
You went and Googled it, right?
Yeah.
Mother's instinct, innit?
Yeah. But Google, the one reason she told us not to is because Google does tell you that they only tend to live up to 10 years old.
Oh.
And that's not the case.
Oh, so there you go. So that's not the case. I mean, a lot of Google is, I love Google, but I know it's my worst enemy. It's old information on it, some of it, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's people that I've spoken to all over the world who have children who are now 30 with this condition. So there is always that hope.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got to have that hope. And these people that have the same condition, is there any chance of contacting them?
Yes, so I am on a page for the condition on Facebook where everyone in that group has a child or adult with the same condition.
Yeah.
So that's a nice group to be a part of, because if I have any worries, I can go there and they'll know what I'm talking about, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But Jed, I don't feel you need to worry, because at this moment, I think you're worrying, about the future, and you're not there yet.
Yeah.
You know,
I know that's hard. It's not hard not
I think
to.
you just need to enjoy your baby and you know and do things normal people would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jade, if I could give you,
because you're not there yet.
if I could give you one bit of advice, is I would take a picture of him every single day, because pictures, they're the memories we hold on to, and try and do as much activities and things that you can with him. Like,
I would take I would be different. This is just me, you know. I would take a different approach. I don't feel you need to be making memories or anything like this. But although memories are great, you know what I mean? You don't want to be putting that in your head. I've got to be making memories, you know, because of the future, because of what may happen. You know, I mean, we've already said there are people with that condition that are 30, you know, so, you know, just live in the present, and you know, you're not in the future. Do you know what I mean? You're not there yet. Your baby's only young. Just go and enjoy yourself and just live a normal life. And then worry when that time comes.
Yeah. Can I just sorry to advertise on here, but I do have a page for my little boy on here, and it's just videos of like showing daily life with him. If anyone could give it a follow.
Jade, there's a few people in the comments asking if you could repeat the diagnosis that your son has, because they missed it.
It's lissencephaly. And it's a neurological migration disorder.
Yeah, and everyone give Jade a follow, guys.
But his page is called Life of Roman, with a blue heart.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to poach on here.
Oh no, that's fine. So everyone give Jade a follow. So, you know, like I said, everyone follow, you know, each other back and things, because, you know, you all have something in common, you know.
Yeah.
It's nice to talk to someone, isn't it?
It is. That's really nice.
These forums, you know, even though they are good, you know, TikTok, you can talk to people on a daily basis as well as kind of message them off TikTok, you know, with Snapchat, or, you know, if you can create a little group and, you know.
Yeah. So I do watch you daily, Angie, because I'm Charlie's mod.
Oh, are you? Oh, I didn't know that.
And I do literally watch you daily.
Oh. Thank you.
But thank you for doing a live like this, Angie. I've brought a lot of people together.
Well, I've learned a lot about autism and ADHD. And I'm sure a lot of people have learned as well. And as well of, well, Jade, Elizabeth, I don't know anything about your condition, and, you know what I mean? But
maybe one day, Jade, you can come back and you can, like, tell us more about the condition.
I would love to, like, maybe when it's a bit easier to speak about it, because at the minute I just get too emotional. I don't want to bore anyone with tears.
Yeah, but I think you just need to stop thinking about the future and live for now. Live, like someone said, live for the moment. You know, you don't need to be going on forums, and I think that's maybe what you're doing. You know, Googling, going on forums, and doing all that, and you're you know, it's upsetting you. You know,
100%. I agree with you.
You don't need to do that at this point. You know, do that, and you know, when the time comes, isn't it? That's if that time comes, right?
Yes, and we want to hear all about your weddings.
It will come eventually. It will come eventually, but it's just a matter of when. But I don't want to sit here and think about that.
No. Well, you don't need to be thinking about it. You know, at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. But thank you for having me up, Angie, and thank you for everyone's support.
Yeah, Jade, we want to hear about your wedding when you come back as well.
Well, I'm getting married in 2026, so we've got a while.
Yeah, you got a long time then.
Yeah.
Sending you love and strength, yeah?
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening.
Big up, Jade. Anyway, I'm going to come off anyway. Unless anyone's got anything else to say.
Well done, Angie.
Oh, listen, it's not about me. It's about the people in the boxes. And it's, you know, listen, we've all learned a lot today anyway.